Hello there, and welcome to the United States Departments of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people.
It's a trap!
All right, what's up, everybody? Today I got Amanda, the co-host of the Socially Distant podcast and Anime Pop podcast over at the Pop Break, and I also have my main man Gibbs, fresh off a competition this weekend where he was slinging pulled pork and barbecue for everybody. What's up, y'all?
Hell yeah. Hey.
Hi. I'm like, I wish I'd been there for that competition. I'm hungry now.
Oh, it's always great. And I was kicking my Star Wars stuff for May the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had my I won with the Force, and the Force is one with me shirt. And even though I hate Crocs, I was wearing my
Dude, you gotta rock the Crocs with no socks.
I had socks on, but I was rocking my Star Wars Crocs.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Those are my barbecue shoes.
I'm just saying, I mean, the
What's up,
Force is
Frankie
definitely
D?
with you.
Yeah.
Definitely with you, because that first place for your sauce.
First place for sauce, third place for pork loin, and pulled pork was 18th, and our ribs was 17th. But this is the third straight competition in which we've had finals, which is the top three. So that's awesome. And this is our first year competing, our fifth competition.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm happy for you, dude. Especially the part where you're rocking the Star Wars Crocs, because that puts a smile on my face. I'm a Croc guy. I would rock Crocs to work if they would let me.
I wish that they had they take pictures of you. So there's a picture of me with my first turn in with my Star Wars shirt and my Crocs on. But what they don't get is the sound. I actually walked up there to Vader's death march.
Hell yeah, dude. That's how to do it. That's how you should do it every competition, man.
Yes. Now I just have to know, do you have any cooking, like your grilling utensils? Are they Star Wars themed?
No, not yet.
We got to change that. We got to change it.
I have some Star Wars chopsticks, but I haven't found any that I really like yet. But most definitely, once that happens, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh man. So we got Mac joining us right now. We got
What's up,
Frankie
Mac?
D in the house. Frankie D, it'd be nice for you to check your messages, bro. I'm trying to check in on you, make sure you're good.
The dark side. Yes. The dark side is strong with Frankie D.
It always is. He's always the hill. That's what I love about him.
Oh yeah.
It's probably a fan of Tales of the Empire then.
Hey, let's not jump ahead. We're gonna get to Tales of the Empire.
I'm teasing.
That was it was different. It was definitely different. So today is Revenge of the 6th. Well, technically it's Revenge of the 5th on the 6th, but we're gonna make it work because my team was busy yesterday, and well, I was watching, episode 1 again for like the 15th or 16th time.
I mean, it's Star Wars month, really. You still
I
have
mean, I'll
George
take it.
Lucas's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
You have the attack on was it the Clone Wars anniversary? You got
Yep.
all kinds of It should be Star Wars month.
It really should. I'm going to petition that we make it the whole month. Of course, Frankie D's going to say it was crap. So today is all about the Bad Batch, Tales of the Empire, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Acolyte trailers. They released the final trailer Saturday, I believe it was. And it's that. Hey, let's jump right on into the Bad Batch, Clone Force 99. So we had D. Bradley Baker, who voices the entirety of the Bad Batch, and I think the clones as well, if I ain't mistaken.
He does each clone.
And then Michelle Ang, who plays Omega, and that's mainly our main cast. I mean, we get some reprisals from some other characters. I know Wanda Sykes voices some. I think she voices Fee.
Yes.
And then Danny DeVito's ex-wife.
Rhea Perlman.
Rhea Perlman, yes. She voices somebody as well, I believe.
She did not do well in the season. Yes, Sid. She voices Sid.
Sid, yes.
He does Sid.
Yes.
Who polarizes the internet.
Yes. So, I mean, it's the same group of voice actors that we're used to getting, but let's back up to season 2. The biggest thing from season 2 going into season 3, we lose Tech.
That reminds me, Wanda Sykes.
Fee.
Huh?
Fee.
Fee, yeah.
Yeah. What was you going to say about her?
I was going to say that, did we mention that Wanda Sykes was voicing Fee?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whew, boy, that grill must have took it out of you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to discuss that, Frank, ED. I swear to you we are. I got my thoughts on that one as well. I think there was some missed opportunities there, but we'll get into that. So we lose Tech, who, by the way, had this weird thing going with Fee, the pirate. Or, well, she didn't consider herself a pirate. She considered herself a recoverer of a privateer. Yes. A recoverer of artifacts. And, of course, Omega, to save her brothers, goes with the Empire.
Yep.
To the island where Hemlock is conducting all his experiments on the clones and creatures and everything else. He's like a modern day, well, I don't know if you want to say modern day, but island of Dr. Monroe or Moreau or whatever it is. Is that the name of that movie?
Yeah, Dr. Monroe.
Dude, that movie was phenomenal, by the way. Both versions of it, the new one and the older one. And that's kind of what this season reminded me of, with this guy experimenting on the clones and the animals there. And
oh, yeah.
So then we get, right, wait, let's do this. I don't want to do this episodically. It bothers me. So let's start with the first escape.
Okay.
So Omega escapes with Crosshair and the dog, because she's, of course, got to be Omega and save the dog.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's been me and Rob's complaint about Omega since season 1 is this girl is going to get everybody freaking killed.
Well, remember, she almost got the dog killed because they released the dog because of her bond with the animal, that they were like, it's no longer doing what we want it to do. It's no longer as tough, as feral, as all this stuff. So they put it out to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's Omega.
I mean, it's a tough call, though. I mean, that poor dog was going to get it either way. I think at least she'd get the dog would have gotten somewhat of a fighting chance. But that's hard though, because I'm wondering I don't think they were native to the planet, were they? I don't think I
No.
got
They
a
made it
clear.
seem like they were
brought in.
They were brought in and they were genetically modified by Hemlock. Is what
Yeah.
I got out of that.
Yeah.
So it's such an interesting take because I'm like, well, if either way, it was due to get put down, and it's either it's going to get eaten by something native to the island, or
Yeah, and that island didn't take no jokes. It
did
took
not.
lives.
No.
Like even the plant life there was taking bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a real dangerous situation and they cultivated it.
They did.
Weed out the weed out the weak.
I kind of wish we had gotten more from that though, because you're in this forest and they set up like here's these dangers, and then here comes the stormtroopers blundering around with the tracking dogs, and I'm like, nobody got eaten from there. I'm like, y'all are all stumbling around. I was like, and I'm being very nitpicky at this point, but I'm just like,
you know what? The chief complaint is they cultivated that island to keep everything in and nothing to get in, and the only people who can get out is themselves. Like you're not getting in, you're not getting out, because the island itself, they cultivated. Dr. Hemlock freaking made this island to be like it will kill you basically, like the entire fucking island.
Right.
So,
but it would have been cool to kind of, since we were getting so much of the animal life, sometimes you see some of the plants that are intriguing. It's like,
the
well, where'd
creeping
that come from?
vines.
Yeah, and I'm like,
awesome.
that's interesting. And I'm like, I would have liked to have seen like one, especially when it got chaotic, like one stormtrooper mess up and get
snatched up.
Get snatched
up.
I thought there was one that did toward
there was one that did get snatched up.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
There was one, and that was to show that, hey, it was carnivorous and all this other stuff. And
it was during the first escape, I believe.
Yeah.
So that would have been fun to have seen a little bit more of that, because I'm like, y'all built this, and it's like, okay, we're in the forest, and I'm like, and I was kind of looking forward to seeing like if there was more wildlife or, there
was some wildlife, but we'll talk about that one later.
Not native though. Not native.
No, definitely not native, but it definitely owns the island all to itself now.
I was happy though with that one.
Oh, I was too. Like it's like the most Omega thing ever.
Yeah.
It is, but I feel like it was redemption for that particular.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. So they save themselves. They finally meet back up with their brothers, Crosshair and Omega. They meet up with with Wrecker and Hunter, and Echo, who Echo is kind of like a come and go character with Captain Rats and that crew that's actually out there helping save the clones from other worlds and planets. How do y'all think, or how do y'all feel about how they did Echo with this? Because I mean, when you look at some of the other things in the Bad Batch, is not just your main. It's not just Hunter and Wrecker, Echo and Crosshair and Omega. I mean, there's been other clones that have, worked with them in the past. Like, do y'all think y'all should have got, or we should have got some more of those like team ups?
For this season, for the third season, no. I think that they did it exactly the way that it probably was supposed to go. You do those little cameos, those little support guys, but they really needed to focus on the main four of the Bad Batch. And they did that. They brought it in to show how much contact and how much support they still had to Rex, Echo, and the other clones that were out there doing it.
Yeah,
but I think any more than it would have diluted, who and what the Bad Batch were.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it was handled perfectly with Echo too. I think he was a nice center point and very balanced, because he brought in again the original Clone Wars. He's part of the original series, and then of course he tied in Rex, which we know that's going to tie into Rebels further. And I think it was a nice little, he kept everything together to where everything made sense in the Star Wars universe. But I also think it was well balanced because you don't want to put too much detail in because you've already told their story in Rebels, and you know where Rex winds up, and you have Wolf and Gregor, and you don't. Then the question comes up of where did everybody else go, and then you have to start kind of trying to fix what you've already put out there, retcon, and people start deep diving. So I think this was
and people deep dive the hell out of this to begin with.
They do.
Oh, hey, I will put it out there. Gregor is getting a Black Series figure with Yoda.
Nice.
Interesting. Okay.
Nice.
In the Kashyyyk green.
Oh.
Not okay.
Oh.
With the green, like his he's getting his green, like the green lined and the green like accent pieces. So it's gonna be. I was like, God damn. And all this up for pre-order right now. I'm like, that might be one I might have to sneak over in pre-order. But Hasbro dropped some great stuff over the 4th, and they're still dropping stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I know that's off topic. But her mentioning Gregor, I was just like, ooh, by the way, Gregor's getting.
But it's also interesting too when you talk about the toy releases and the figure releases, because sometimes even though you're like, what is this or that just is like a whole different. They might be setting up. They might know something we don't.
Yes.
Sometimes
spoiler
the
alert.
toys will predict the future.
Yes.
Yeah, and judging by some of the figures they dropped, there's some good stuff coming down the pipe if it's related,
right?
Because there was some great stuff that dropped over the weekend. So let's get to the family reunites, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And they're dealing with Crosshair, and he's like an angry teenager at times. I know his hand is messed up at this point. It was injured. And how did y'all feel when basically they forgave him? Like, did not necessarily forgive him, but when they put the trust back into him and he kind of earned that place with the team again.
If you notice, the dynamic never went back to what it was.
It didn't.
Yes.
It did not. Yep. And Hunter, and they got into it later on, and they had to have that come out. Wrecker,
he's a child.
He's a big man child, but he basically goes the way that Hunter is going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's especially Omega. When Omega's like, hey, he's our brother, he's back, this and this. Wrecker's this, but Hunter I felt even towards the end, till the end, which I'm getting a little ahead of myself of us, but
I mean, we can answer the questions ourselves as we go.
In that last episode where things were going up against the fence and against the wall, and Crosshair was like, you guys go, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And Hunter kind of looked back and was like, no, he was like, you don't have to. He goes, it's okay. That sort of kind of closed it back in for Hunter. Yeah. But
it was 13 episodes to get to that point. Well, it was about 9 episodes, I guess.
Because till then he was
he was on the fence.
He's always looking, at what Crosshair is doing. Keeping an eye on him.
And I think it's a valid reaction to have in terms of, you don't, I would have been more unhappy, I think, if Hunter was like 2 episodes in, like, okay, I forgive you. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I think you have that
it's
visible
very
reminder.
Hunter-like.
It is, but also you have that visible reminder of what the cost was for Crosshair defecting and turning traitor. Yeah. And, with
they lost one of their own.
They lost Tech. Yeah. And I feel like with Tech, if Tech was there, I think the dynamic would have gone back to what it was. Instant. But I mean, Gibbs, you have that's a very astute observation because you really can't, it never really, even at the end when Hunter kind of made peace with it, it never went back to being the same. Like it just, Tech's loss was so profound, and I think you felt it in just the way the dynamic just never fixed. And Omega looks at it like a child. And it was a good reminder that she is a child. That
she's a teenager. She's 12, 13 years old at this point.
Because it's a very simplistic view of, okay, he's back, he's our brother, we should forgive him.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of comprehension on her end about these guys grew up together. Like they came up, the bond there, even though the bond with you was strong, they had a bond before you came.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But let's also remember Omega is older than them.
Oh, that's true. That's
technically
right.
she is, yeah.
They had the Flash, training maturation, if you will. I don't know if that's a word, but Gibb is using it.
There you go.
But the maturation of the process and all that stuff ingrained into them. So it makes them seem like they're older, and they've aged, older
faster,
than she has. But technically, she's older than them. And it's funny because the dynamic between her and Wrecker, is more on a level because of his, reduced IQ. Even though the dude can do some, he can do some different things with engineering and stuff, but it's like an idiot savant type deal.
Yeah.
But
if it's an explosive, he can blow it up, man.
Yes.
Hey, we're gonna have Frank D join us for a few minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Always the heel. I love having him on.
Our resident dark sider.
Exactly.
Somebody has to balance everything out.
While we're waiting on him to join us, answer me this now. Before the season ever started, we knew Dr. Hemlock had created his own special force clone as people that he had mutated and genetically modified once again to make these assassins. Did y'all at any point believe Tech was that one?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was just like, yep. I think at this point, Tech or Filoni was like, Tech is dead. Y'all understand. Dude is dead. All right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without much more introduction, I bring you Frank D. What up, Frank D?
Nice. Yes.
Oh, yes. What's up, people?
I knew this was happening. With the red, with the lightsabers, dressed like Darth Vader. You got to hear his Darth Vader impression and his Sidious impression. They're top notch.
Listen, you can't have a Revenge of the Sith show or whatever we're calling it without the Dark Lord of the Sith. So,
hey, I tried reaching out, man, and I hadn't heard from you, so you had us all worried.
Well,
glad you're here.
You know something. Sometimes, bro, you just gotta, you gotta take a step back for a minute.
Oh,
you just gotta
trust me. I'm just getting back into it. I did the same thing.
Yeah, but you guys are talking about the Bad Batch, and I, started the Bad Batch late, and I was hearing the conversation. I said, you know what? Why am I listening to these people talk when I can just simply come on? So I decided I'm going to crash a party tonight. I'm gonna come on here.
You are a forever council member. You are more than welcome. You can hit me up and go, hey, Jeff, let's go live and let's talk something. And we will do it.
Well, I appreciate that, good sir.
Uh-oh.
It's
did I freeze? Or did y'all?
No, nobody's freezing,
it
dude.
could be
No.
you didn't freeze, but it could be if you are freezing, it's because you like to, adhere to the light side of the force.
No. Let's get things straight. I am Mando ID. I am Mandalorian. And I take down both Jedi and Sith with equal pleasure.
Well, the thing I will tell you is you don't know the power of the dark side.
There we go.
Yes. That's what I needed.
But you guys are talking about rogue clones, the Bad Batch.
Yes.
So please continue.
All right. So we were just discussing Tech and whether or not anybody actually believed, beside the internet community, that they brought Tech from the dead and made him one of the assassins, which
Bro.
just...
Yeah.
Yes, I was a believer in this theory. Yes, I thought this. Okay, you know something? When
There were some similarities,
There are
yes,
some
but
similarities. When dudes started showing up, this mystery, I'm like, that's tech. Has to be, right? Yeah, I fell for it. I fell for the bait and switch. I did. I thought we had something here. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good because I was like, I marked out when I saw the Emperor. I marked out
yeah,
when I saw him. You know,
we all
so
did.
yeah. So
I
I'm
mean,
like,
it's
this
the
is
emperor.
cool.
Why would you not?
Exactly. It's the whole reason why this exists outside of Lord Lucas, but you know,
If that dude's not a $4 billion man or $4 million Sith, I don't know who he is.
no, no. But I actually thought that this was tech. I was like, this is going to be cool. The reveal is going to be sweet. We didn't get it.
I actually thought because I knew that there was more than just the one that they showed,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he was like, "Why did you, call me? Why am I operated? Why are you, bringing me in?" I actually thought that they were going to reveal, if they revealed at all, that these were the Delta Squad.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Because an
Okay.
episode in the Clone Wars series, I think it was season 3, one of those episodes, you actually saw Delta Squad from the books and the video game.
Yeah, but I thought they were with the red. Like they had red trim for Delta Squad.
They did in some of the books and some of the
Yeah.
other stuff, but in the Clone Wars, they said this is Delta Squad coming back, and they brought some stuff, and they had the yellow visors,
Mm-hmm.
they had the different visors and all that stuff. And I was thinking that would be awesome for them to have converted Delta Squad into this, but that
Oh,
was
that would have been dope. Yeah.
yeah, that was the only thing that I thought of. But the fact that they left them as nameless,
Assassins.
Yeah.
assassins, shadow clones, then I was
Ooh,
okay with
shadow
that.
clones. I like it.
And to me, when
Yeah.
they did that, it was missing the. I guess I was looking for this emotional kind of scene where it would have
Yeah.
been like that big, reveal. It kind of goes back to you remember when um, in Rebels where Ahsoka kind of knew she kind of sensed that Vader was Anakin Skywalker. It was
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yes.
Yeah.
that emotional dynamic. So I was looking for that with the Bad Batch when they realized that Tech didn't die and that he's
Yeah.
this rogue trying to kill them now.
Yeah.
And we
No,
didn't get that.
I get that 100%
Yeah.
because I kind of like that was around. It was that mid-season mark where you're kind of looking for that emotional twist or something that they
Well,
normally give you,
and
and you just didn't get.
they could have done it because especially when you have the episode with Asajj Ventress and we're talking about, Omega
We're to that
possibly
point. Yeah.
force
But-
force sensitive. I'm jumping ahead, I know, but that would have been an interesting way to reveal that she really is force sensitive by her being the one to detect tech because she's force sensitive and I think the other clones are not, from what I understand, or at least the rest of the Bad Batch wasn't. So that would have been an interesting way to go about it.
Well, you
Yeah.
talking about Omega?
Yes.
Okay, let's put a
Yes.
pin in that one. We'll get into that whole Omega force sensitive.
Yeah, I
but
had thoughts on that too.
In the conversation where we're at right now, let's just jump right into that.
Okay.
Because Asajj Ventress, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the character, where she went, what she came from, how she actually died. Like the character as a whole, I'm a big fan. Like hands down, I'm probably going to end up paying like $100 for her Lego minifig, just because I'm a fan like that. And her regular figure from Hasbro right now is like $100+ too. And my allergies are bothering the shit out of me right now. But let's talk about that. So the clones, the batch, they visit Fennec Shad, and they put them in contact with Asajj. Asajj visits to see if she's clone force sensitive, and at the end of the day, it still left us kind of high and dry where we didn't know one way or the other.
That was done on purpose, I feel like.
I mean, I know it was, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Well,
you wanted some type of closure there. Like, is she a force sensitive clone, or is she
feel
not?
like it's going to be one of those things that, because I feel like the way that the show ended with Omega, there's the doors open for her to show up anywhere at this point. I feel like that might be something they further explore later with her, which would be interesting. I almost feel like they were testing it out. How are people going to react?
I think that, and he's done this before. It's the Sabine Wren all over again.
Yeah.
But here's the difference. They, again, and we can go back, and I think me and Frankie D talked about this for a second. The whole, everybody is force sensitive because the force is in everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a difference between the force being within every living thing and all that stuff, and someone actually able to utilize the force on any level. Like they said that she basically, was she force sensitive? She had the potential, is what I think that they were getting at.
Yeah.
But it was, again, like Sabine Wren, very, very low. But what Dr. Hemlock was looking for was the capability of the transfer of the M counts.
Yep.
In which everybody has M counts, and whether it's ridiculously low, and God, I still hate that word. Glad they don't say the full, but they say M counts. But whether or not, the greater the M count, the greater your potential for, utilizing the force.
Yeah.
It's that connection.
Basically, she was, what I got from that too was basically a female Anakin Skywalker, pretty much. How
she
important
had a
was.
ridiculously high M count, according to the show.
The midichlorians?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's Rob's favorite word, by the way. Midichlorians.
Yeah. I don't think that she had a ridiculously high. I think that it was the fact that within those, because remember when they were testing the other kids and those stuff, those kids actually, some of them were actually using the force and had force abilities.
Yep.
Her difference was they were testing her. And the only reason why she was moved down there is because they were testing clones, not only to see whether or not they can, use the force, but whether or not they can port the M counts from one clone genetic source to another. And of course, that ties into,
Project Necromancer,
and all that stuff. The return of making Palpatine's clones able to,
they were justifying the comeback of Palpatine. Okay. Let's just look at it as it is.
Oh yeah, it's retro. I mean, and that harkens back into the the EU, in which after Palpatine dies, he has a whole bunch of clones that come up until they actually drag his soul, into the great beyond.
Well, I mean, even then, Omega wasn't the first clone to be force sensitive. There was one before her in the books.
There in the book, but that's a whole different thing. We're talking about Jinku and that whole thing. But that's because Jinku was actually the son of a clone and a Jedi general.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make it clear that a BCP Hall of Famer has joined us in the comment section, Mr. Bill Bodkin. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, Bill.
What's up, Bill?
Hey.
I'm not up on the young people slang, so I don't know what that means.
Motherfuckers.
Exactly. Yip, motherfucker. That's what he's going for.
Oh, you can cuss on this show. We're perfectly fine with that, Bill.
Okay.
Cuss away.
Yep. Now
we are an 8+ show. What's up, Bill? Glad to have you on. Glad you could join us tonight. We are talking Star Wars, of course, and we were talking Bad Batch. So
everybody knows I have a problem with Omega, and
you and me both. But I think she redeemed herself to some degree.
It's not just that. I detest her character ever being created, but that's part of my problem with Felonious too. And I hate that I love that he's so awesome and great for Star Wars. You know, he is the heir, he is the apprentice, and one day he shall become the master after George Lucas fades into the becomes one with the Force. But he is the future of where we're going, and I hate that. I recognize and I love that. Okay, I call him Felonious because he steals a lot of shit, but they are absolutely making Omega out to be this super potential, super individual. And I'm not going to get carried away too much like I sometimes can, but
You do.
the her potential with the Force is, I think that was too spot on, too on the nose, and all that stuff. If they're going to have her in something else, I fully understand that.
So
But,
I mean, let's air it out, man. We have not Rogue Squadron. Yeah, is it Rogue Squadron that's
Rogue
currently
Squadron is coming
in
up.
development? And
Mhm.
we'll jump ahead of ourselves a little bit. She did leave to join the rebellion to be
Yeah.
a pilot.
Yep.
I mean,
So
and that's
who's to
the-
say that we don't see her again?
Yeah.
In
I swear to God, I'm gonna
in
lose
the
my
new-
shit if they say, "Oh, she's the best pilot in the rebellion." No, mother, no,
See,
stop.
my theory on her is that I think what Filoni was trying to do was take Omega and create the phenomenon like Ahsoka. You have this
Yeah.
kid that starts off and he's basically following the same formula, hoping that
Mhm.
people would get attached to
Yeah.
Omega.
We're not
like
attached
we love
to her.
Ahsoka.
Omega,
And-
Sabine, and Ahsoka.
But I think with Sabine, a little different though because of the following she had from Rebels. But kind of that same formula. And then
I
of
didn't
course,
like her in Rebels.
So, you listen. You brought up a minute ago about Filoni being one day being the heir to the Empire, pretty much.
He is the heir to the
He is
Empire.
the
He
He's
is
already
the
been
heir to
called
the
it.
Empire, and we'll see come October just how far he will go into the Empire, because there's a lot
What's
of
October?
happenings.
Mhm.
There's a lot of
Yes.
things happening right now at Disney, where I don't know if you guys are aware of what's going on at Disney right now.
Oh yeah, that power regime.
They
is-
know
Oh, okay, yeah.
they know they fucked up with the sequel trilogy. Okay, they know
Yeah.
it's a done deal. They put a video out the other day for celebrating May the 4th, and the sequel trilogy was not in it at all. It was
Yep.
all
Yep.
original trilogy shit. It was prequels. It was animation. That's what it was. So they're kind of reverting back to what made Star Wars work to begin with. What is Star Wars? Star Wars is Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. That shit. This is what's going to make them money. They know this. This is the reason why if you're looking at Star Wars Blue Milk, who's on the cover of Blue Milk? Luke Skywalker,
Anakin and
Darth
Luke.
Vader.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what makes them money. So as it relates to Omega, I personally think Omega's cool, but she's like a dork, and
I mean, she's a child.
a nice dork. Okay, she's kind of like one of those. She's just so pure. She reminds me so much of Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. She's just
Okay.
That's a
Yeah.
good
she wants
comparison.
to
Yeah.
she wants to just she wants to help everybody. You know, okay, I get even further than that. She reminds me of Anakin from Episode 1. Just
Oh Jesus.
Okay.
pure.
Yeah.
No, just pure. And I can't wait for Omega to finally see the real world and join the dark side, because that would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate, turn for me, is to see her, so pure and now, but she's out here seeing some shit, and she's seeing that, what the Bad Batch tried to protect her from, she's gonna see it now, and she's gonna fall to the dark side. That's why I think the character has to go here. You can't be a goody two shoes and a baby face. I'm talking to you, Kaylee. You can't be a goody two shoes
Always the face.
in a baby face this entire time. The villain is the sell. You know what I mean? Why is Darth Vader so popular in pop culture? It's because he sells. It's because people like the bad guys. So when it comes to Omega, I'm like, they missed opportunities here with her so much in the show. She was trying to, you have to forgive him and all this bullshit. No, fuck him.
I mean, we all know Filoni likes to lay out storyboards and game plans years in advance. So, I mean, who knows where he's going with it?
But as she stated here, that's Amanda stated. She stated basically that Filoni followed the same blueprint with Ahsoka. Ahsoka started off as this annoying character that people
still
grew to
annoying.
love. Well,
I will not tolerate
don't know.
Ahsoka slander. She's my favorite.
I see. You know something? Honestly, I can't agree with you on that because Ahsoka turned the corner for me in Rebels when she had this connection to, when they're doing this and saying the Force is strong with this one. Then he said the apprentice lives. That is when it turned a corner for me with Ahsoka, and that followed into the Ahsoka show. Now, what was wrong with the Ahsoka show, real quick, people, and then we'll get back on this.
No.
What was wrong with the Ahsoka show? To me, I did not like fucking Sabine, and I didn't like Ezra because they basically pussyfied Ezra. You know what I'm saying? He was not the character he was in Rebels. Sabine all of a sudden now has the Force. Fuck that. You don't have the Force. The only people that should be dealing with the Force was Ahsoka, Ezra, Balin, and Shin Hati. And Shin Hati was one of the best female characters on the whole damn show.
Yes.
So, and I'm just listen. I'm partial to the dark side. Okay, I'm in a red light here.
No,
Obviously,
she was charismatic as hell.
how she was.
Yeah.
But you have Sabine here, who okay, you get fucking, and this is another problem with Disney Star Wars. Real quick, you get fucking stabbed with a lightsaber, and my God, if you're Qui-Gon Jinn, and you see all these fuckers being resurrected, they don't die.
Hey,
and you died.
We
died
all
the same
know
way.
10 minutes after Qui-Gon died, they invented the Bacta tank, okay? If he would have died 10 minutes later, he would have been good to go.
Oh.
That's one of the best skits ever done, by the way.
Well, there's somebody, I feel like I see him on Instagram, Charlie something or other, that he does these reels where he's like AI'd, Qui-Gon and
yeah, that's
Anakin.
where it came from.
Yeah, and that was great. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? That was so great.
Like, yeah, Bacta was invented 10 minutes after you died.
But she's going to play
never-
a big part. Omega, real quick. Omega's going to play a big part moving forward in their plans. So, obviously, what's on the horizon here? You got, what is this? The Skeleton Crew?
Yeah,
Skeleton Crew's coming.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Skeleton Crew is going to be Old Republic.
But you also have...
Yeah.
But you have these... What I'm getting at here is that you have all these other projects on the pipeline because the only thing we know what Omega is this. Is that, okay, we've seen her in animation form. We have not yet seen her live action. Okay. Where do we go here with Andor Season 2? Okay. We know Andor Season 2 is leading to the events of Rogue One. We know this. Will they then somehow bring Omega into this situation? Is Omega going to be a part of the Mandalorian Grogu film? Is Filoni going to put all his main characters into this one thing to make this super movie? Because they got to save this shit somehow. It's going to be, dude, listen, whether we like it or not, it's going to be complete fucking fan service here, and I love it because
it absolutely
you have no
is.
choice. You got to bring in fucking Padme. You got to get Natalie Portman in this shit. You got to bring in Padme. You got to bring in all these Force ghosts. You got to bring in every fucking body to make this one movie to stop, Thrawn and all this type of shit because this is going to save it because they have no choice. You can't bring in fucking Rey and the director says she likes to make men feel uncomfortable. If I say that, I'm a pervert. You know what I mean? So you can't bring her. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fix this. So this is gonna be complete fan service. I think that's where we're going with Rey. Rey's gonna, not Rey, excuse me. Omega's gonna join the rebellion. She's gonna be one of the top pilots there because that's where they're going. Unfortunately, that's what it is, man. Listen.
She's got to live up to what
she has to live up. Exactly. She's got to be that one. There has to be one. Okay, they take these shows, and they always have to have that one main character that's going to go off into the universe. It's going to be something special. And Omega is a strong female character, in my opinion, done correctly. Whether you agree with me or not, she was done correctly because she's still innocent and pure until she goes and sees some shit that's going to make her rugged. That's going to make her. I've seen some shit.
I mean, I would like to think that she already has. I mean, she's 12 years old and she's been a part of a conflict for how long?
And she never waned from her beliefs. She went through so much during the Bad Batch. All this shit. She never.
Let's just say a lot of it was brought on by herself, by being that pure-hearted person.
Of course, but look what she did. She took one of the hardest characters on that show, in Crosshair, and was able to turn him, and that was. Excellent. It's that part where Crosshair's with Rampart. He says, "I've changed." Sure, you have. You know.
Yeah.
And it turned out that right there, it was like, that's one of the best things I've ever seen as far as character development of any show I've ever seen, is the turn of Crosshair from where
Crosshair
he was.
probably had the best
Redemption
story and redemption in the entire season. It was just that damn good.
He had a better, and I'm saying this, and I'm a fucking huge mark for this guy, and I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna shock the shit out of you. Crosshair had a better redemption story to me than Vader, because Vader
Bro.
Vader only redeemed himself after he realized that he had been bitched out and lied to by Palpatine, and that he had a son. Crosshair, on the other hand, Crosshair had to work for that shit. Crosshair went through a bunch of bullshit to get to the point where he could actually
Twice
trust.
over.
Yes,
over.
His hand and all that shit. He went through a lot of bullshit and sacrifices of believing in the Empire, believing that, okay, I'm a soldier, I'm going to finish his mission, to the point where you realize you were lied to. Just kind of like Vader. But all the bad shit that Vader did, Vader had that one redeeming moment where he had the Emperor and he says no, in the remix, and threw and threw Palpatine to his death and saved himself, and then became Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, okay, that's cool, but that's one thing out of all the bullshit that Vader did. Crosshair.
I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. It wasn't just one thing. I was watching and I was talking to my wife about it, and she goes, "You're such a nerd, and I love you." And yeah, I was. But I was watching Empire Strikes Back yesterday, right?
Yeah,
as you should.
And there was a scene where they were freezing Han, right? They were taking.
Oh, he's talking about he stopped Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Now hold on. Why did he stop Boba Fett?
I don't know.
I never thought about it.
He didn't know Leia was his daughter yet.
Okay, it's not about that.
Boba
Fett was going to, because why did Boba Fett was raising up because he was going to blast the fuck out of Chewie, right? He was, because Chewie was about to was knocking everybody and doing all this stuff. It wasn't. Darth Vader didn't care about Chewie. He cared about C-3PO, who was on Chewie's back.
Valid
You're
point.
right. Yeah, he was in pieces on his back. Yeah.
Chewie is only still alive because of C-3PO being on his back. That's why Vader, in all these years, I've watched this. And it wasn't until yesterday when and I've seen him do this, and I sat up here and I said, whoa, wait a minute. C-3PO.
Yeah?
I will add on.
C-3PO.
I will add on to that. So I know what you're getting at. So there is a story I saw. It was in a comic. It was some stuff that happened off screen during The Empire Strikes Back, and Vader actually found C-3PO, and he remembered 3PO as Anakin Skywalker. He remembered him, and he started feeling those emotions again. And then he had to quickly turn away. He says, "Don't destroy him. Let him go. You can let the Wookiee take him." Pretty much. So I get what you're getting at there. Other than that.
Well, and he's got other signs too. I mean, look at the end of Clone Wars. Where he found Ahsoka's lightsaber. He's looking at the remnants of by the Bible first.
He has some, maybe a couple.
He has moments.
Those
Those emotions were there, and then
he killed Skywalker.
There's some moments in the comics, quite a few moments in the comic books where he has human qualities of Anakin still, and
it's really depending on who's writing him. To see if it was me writing him, there is no redeeming qualities.
There's I don't know if y'all read Dark Droids or not.
I have not.
He traps a dark droid in himself. Like the dark droid is trying to take over. Like they're these sentient beings, and he tries to take over Anakin Skywalker's body. And Anakin's just like, "You're in here with me now, dude."
Yeah.
So he literally compartmented this guy, this dark sentient, into himself, and it's there.
Well, to real quick. So this past May the 4th, I went to it was an event going on here in San Antonio called Heroes and Fantasies.
Yes,
I
was there too.
Did you go? I thought you were there.
I was dressed as Darth Vader, and I got to.
Why would you not be?
Well, of course I am. I was a New Hope Vader, so I would have been Empire Strikes Back if my fucking helmet got here on time. But that's another story.
Did it get in yet?
No, not yet. It's still
Okay.
some business. Yeah, it'll be
I
coming.
know
in.
you've been waiting on one.
Oh fuck yeah, man! Hell yeah, I've been waiting since January.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so I've been here working on my armor and just doing a bunch of bullshit. And I was, it's just listen. Make a long story short, I took a picture. I saw Crosshair, and I went to him. I said, I want to take a picture with you, rebel scum. So I said, so we took a picture together, me and Crosshair. It was, it was
You
such
gotta
a
post
great
that up.
experience.
Did you post it up yet?
I have not.
You gotta post it
Oh,
up.
come on.
Oh,
I shall do that. I have to go to work in a little while and go slave for the Empire. So, but making a long story short here, Crosshair, like I said, had the best redemption story I've seen in Star Wars. I will say in Disney Star Wars because I can't
Okay.
count that.
We
I
will
cannot
allow
count
it.
Vader because that's anything that's all Lucas.
Right.
Disney Star Wars, Crosshair's redemption story, him caring for Omega. Something you never thought because he didn't give a shit. He's like, you're like basically he was telling her you're dumb, like
Mhm.
you are stupid, like you're too. Everybody's not good.
You
It's
can't
kind of what
trust
they
everybody.
try. It's kind of what they try to do with Obi-Wan and Leia and Obi-Wan Kenobi, where he says, everybody's not good, Leia. Some bullshit like that. It's the same kind of thing. Except it felt more genuine here with Crosshair because they've gone through shit.
Mhm.
And she was able to break through this hard shell and redeem this guy. And at the end, to see Crosshair take that one shot at Rampart, like
Yeah.
or not Rampart, Hemlock.
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 Just one shot at Hemlock to get
With
him
one hand.
with one hand, and he was
Yeah.
able to pull it off. And they live happily ever after. That was fine. A lot of people had the same, like season 3 of The Mandalorian, how it ended, and like, oh, they live happily. No, this one felt more genuine that they live happily ever after. That they are finally somewhat at peace. The Empire is going to grow, of course. We're still in the infancy of the Empire, but to have this, not so much of a dark moment, but a light moment, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, we're working on getting to the end. And we've already been at it for like 50 minutes on the Bad Batch. It's fucking great. I love it.
Well, that's why I tell people, you know what, dude, let me say something. So I've been just busting my ass for weeks and months putting together my Vader costume. I'm talking about,
dude, I've been
making
watching you
armor.
at least for a year
Yeah.
work on these things.
That was just bullshit that I was doing for Halloween. This time now I'm taking it seriously. One day probably going to join the 501st Legion.
Nice.
So
Better.
I have fucking been doing my shit, making my armor, doing everything right, and just the people when I was at the Heroes and Fans here in San Antonio, and the people saw me come out as Vader. That was fucking cool as fuck, man. That was excellent. I met a lot of cool people there. I took a picture with R2D2 and shit.
Nice.
It was cool, man. Just to do that. So it's just you say been here basically 53 minutes almost doing this. It's when you talking about something you're passionate about. It's kind of like me with Vader. When you do something you're passionate about, it's not really work or time consuming. It's like I'm having fun.
No.
I was
Never get
in that
tired of talking
fucking-
about it.
Hell no, I
No,
was in that costume
absolutely
for
not.
fucking 4 hours. I was in that damn costume.
Nice.
And
I just missed you, I think, because we came in after I think you guys had left.
were you guys? What were you dressed as?
Ahsoka. I was Clone
Ahsoka.
Wars Ahsoka.
Ah, damn it! See, you know something. So we have. Are you here? Are you San Antonio as well?
I am. Yes.
Okay, we have got to get together and do a
There's
photo
one
or something.
coming up in like a month, I think, in San Antonio.
Oh, is that right? Because
Yep.
I got to take a picture. I was like, I'm missing Ahsoka, and I got to have a picture with my apprentice.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that
I've
would've
got
been-
both. I've got both Clone Wars Ahsoka that I do and
Yeah.
Rebels Ahsoka. And I also do Mando Ahsoka. So
Okay, so
different
we've
variations.
got to hook up and do something because that photo op has to happen with the apprentice.
Are you going to be
I gotta do
if
that.
you're going to NostalgiaCon? Well, no, I won't be in Ahsoka that time. But I will be in June for superhero.
Where is that?
That's the one I was thinking of. The one that's
Yes, that one is at
Superhero Con.
I think that's at maybe Freeman, or I think it's at Freeman Coliseum.
I'm not sure. I just seen the advertisement for it.
Yeah,
I have
they're
to look
bringing in,
into it.
yeah,
I
they're
love
bringing in quite
all
a
of
few
this.
people. Yeah.
So we had GalaxyCon here back a couple of
Nice.
months ago, and I was in line to get Ashley Epstein's signature on my 25th anniversary Clone Wars comic, and she's so sweet. She's awesome.
She is. She's the best.
I will stand in line to get her signature like anytime now, just because she's that nice of a person to talk to. And she had her mom traveling with her this time. Her husband was in Europe, but I'm in line and this guy walks by. And he's got like this baby face and he's dressed like Balin. He looks over at me. He's like, "Why aren't you Balin?" I'm like, "I'm working on it, dude. Trust me, it's in the work."
Are you still doing Cal Kestis?
So I'm too gray now to do Cal Kestis unless I want to do Grandpa Cal, but I'm going to switch it over. I was able to get my order that I had placed for some of the basic pieces of Cal, and I'm going to swap it over. I swapped it over to ask and asked them if they would start making it into a Balin. And the lady was super cool about it. She's like, "Yeah, I'm not that far." She's like, "I've only started making small pieces of it to start putting it together." She's like, "And I can reuse them into the Balin." So that's what she's doing.
Oh, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you
Yeah.
finally joining this cosplay.
I know.
People look at me like crazy, like, dude, like in my closet, it's just nothing but fucking cod pieces
Same.
and shit.
I mean, behind my door is like all my
Yeah.
wigs and my boyfriend's wigs, so we've got all
Yeah.
our
I mean,
stuff.
my like
The Queen of the Short King.
I
there's
got my Jedi robes, and
Yeah.
when I lose a little bit more weight, I've got to. I'm not going to be one of the fat Mandalorians out there, but I am getting my Mando. I've already got it broken down, the schematics of it, but that's
Nice.
when Zenda Lorne will be born.
We're
Once
bringing
again,
it anyway.
look, bro.
Corpo Don.
Listen, when you got all that shit on you, anyways, no one can tell your fucking weight. You're gonna have all this stuff on you.
Oh
okay?
no! I've been to a couple Comic Cons, and you can see the fat ones.
And you know what happens?
They do stand out.
You know what happens when you see the fat ones?
What's that?
Can I take a picture?
Yeah.
Can I get a picture with you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Hey, it
I don't
doesn't
care.
matter.
No one gives
You're
a
right.
flying
You're right.
fuck
Yeah.
about any of
Just
that
for
shit.
me, I have to lose about 50 more pounds.
Well, you know something, I'll
Ah.
tell you. If you had given your soul to the dark side a long time ago, you would have shredded those pounds.
This motherfucker. I swear.
Now I would have been fat.
You like our barbecue, man?
I would have been
No,
fat.
dude. And you know what I told this guy? I said, you need to have a fucking barbecue channel. I want to see some. And I just gave you an out. I said Galactic Barbecue.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay?
He did mention that. Yeah.
I gave it to you. All right. When you're up here talking about barbecue and shit, you think like, damn, I'm getting fucking hungry. I want some fucking barbecue.
Well, I'm hungry. He was talking about everything at the beginning. I'm hungry.
Some Rancor ribs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you need to get on that, man.
I circling back with crosshairs and that whole thing. Frankie, you said that at the end, and there's a whole lot of stuff that happened between them, but at the end, that scene where they were just sitting there, on the retaining wall, and they're just sitting there, and you can feel just the
right. They're
The
at
relief.
peace.
They're I wouldn't say totally at peace, but they're like, this is over. We are together again, and this is done.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel it.
Yeah, not so much that. I guess peace is the wrong word. Not just we can stop and take a breather for a minute. Like we don't have to.
It's like a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna tell you how I would have ended the damn show. All right. So, yeah, that was nice to have that happy ending that I mentioned. But the way I would have done it is that okay, the ultimate instrument should have been used at the end of the show, which would have given Omega motivation to join the rebellion, and that to me would have been Vader coming in and killing all of the Bad Batch, and that giving her what she needs, that shit that she needs to say, I need to stop this. This empire is more dangerous than I thought because we've never seen Vader in the Bad Batch. She's never been there. We haven't seen the Sith Lord. So him showing up there, maybe some Inquisitors, whatever. I think that would have set the tone for what happens with Omega next, which would have been she has to fight the rebellion and stop the empire because she just saw
she's
Vader
seen
kill
Idris.
everybody, but she's never seen Vader.
No,
What the power of what Vader can do. There needs to be a sacrifice. I didn't see
Some
any
motivation.
spoilers. Some motivation. I didn't see any. I saw people like, and this. I tried to stay my ass off of social media when the Bad Batch came because the only thing I saw was somebody says, "Oh, they all died." I'm like, "Oh fuck, they killed the entire Bad Batch." That's what I thought. Right. That's why I thought. It's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!" It's like, why are you spoiling it? And then I saw what it was, and I'm like, "Damn, man!" It's like they should have. There was no Palpatine. There was nothing at all. It was just like, okay, the only one we got was Tarkin. And he says, we're gonna divert all funds here, shutter this facility completely. We're gonna divert all funds to Project Stardust, which is the Death Star.
Yep.
That right there should have been like missed opportunity for Vader. That's just you can't have Vader in everything, but you can use Vader in.
I think he should have walked in with Tarkin.
He should have.
That would have been
that.
legit.
Yes. Or you could have ended the show on the Vader breathing at the end or some shit. Like Omega flies off in the rebellion and Hunter's there with Betcher, and then all of a sudden Vader just kills Hunter at the end or some shit.
I think that I'm with you on the better, bigger motivation for her joining. I think that at the end, because we all saw it, and we all thought Wrecker was going to die, and Crosshair was going to die.
Yep.
If Crosshair would have died fighting the shadow, whatchamacallit, that sacrifice, that he had, and then coming back and shooting Hemlock, and then him and Hunter, I love that scene. They capped the fuck out of his ass,
dude. And she stabbed that motherfucker too. Let's not forget that she stabbed him. She set it up so well.
Wrecker dying, Crosshair dying, and at the end it just being Hunter and not Ahsoka Omega. I think that would have been better onus for her joining the rebellion, and at that would have made that end scene with her leaving, and just knowing that it's just Hunter, and Hunter's like, I understand, and she's I got to do this, or else they died for nothing. What we're fighting.
So here's the thing: we get a long from where, so the screen goes black and then it comes back on, and you see Omega going to her ship.
Right.
We don't know what has happened between those years. We do know that Crosshair and Wrecker are both still alive because she tells him to take care of him, but we don't know what's happened to them in those years that we don't see where she grows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something could have happened in there that we just don't see to make her want to join the rebellion. Did something happen to Echo or to Retz or to somebody else that she hears about to make her want to join the rebellion?
And I agree with Frank on that point, because there was nothing to really motivate her. And I love the idea of having Vader in projects. Like, he just elevates what he's in, and just that's just the sheer power of a Vader entrance, or just even if you're just looking at his boots, just the breathing. I mean, that is, and I am not a dark side character, and I love, but I feel like they have very compelling people on the dark side. Again, with Darth Vader, Darth Maul, there's a lot of charisma there.
Absolutely.
But I feel like too, I'm actually glad in a way that Vader didn't show up here, because you want that mystique to continue, and you want those uses to be strategic. I think for me, and I know we're going to dive into Tales of the Empire, but I think you just have to be careful with where Vader is at, and then you need the story to stand on its own. Like, you can't. That's the hard part. You can't rely on everything, and this is going to be the true test when we get to the Acolyte. Can something survive without it?
Yep.
Being a Skywalker, Vader.
We do get Yoda, though.
But
we know that for a fact. We are going to get Yoda.
Yeah, but with Omega, it just was like, I'm going to join the rebellion. And I'm like, well, what happened? What happened?
That's what I'm getting at. That's the whole
I'm here with that. I'm here for that.
That's what I'm getting at.
That tells me that she can show up in squadrons that is being developed, and we're going to get her reason for joining the rebellion.
But here's the thing.
Shows.
But here's the thing. That's a long ways off. Like,
it's a year away.
Still, in Star Wars
projects these projects are changing all the time. What we thought, remember this. Originally, the the Ray movie was front and center of what they were going to do. They already had Pinewood Studios locked and ready to go. That stopped. That switched. It was now Mandalorian Grogu. That's when this whole shift started. They realized what we've done is bullshit. It's not working. They put this shit on the back ender. I will say this about I will say this about Vader. I want to see how powerful he really is. All the media we've seen from Disney,
Dude, read the
Lucasfilm,
comic
Disney
book.
universe showed him as a threat, but we never really got to see his full potential. I want a
No,
series that
go
just shows.
read the comic book.
You kind of
and-
saw that, and I get what you're saying, dude. You gotta, like Jeff's saying, you gotta read the comics, and you also need to look at the episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see right there just how much of a badass. Let me tell you one thing real quick. One thing real quick that Disney's done that Lucas could never do. They made Vader into a fucking horror character. Because everything now Vader does, he's sinister, he's more evil than he ever was. You kind of saw that in the original trilogy, but you really see it now. Look at and a lot of people, and I criticized it too until I heard it the other day. Vader's theme song from Obi-Wan
Yeah.
is fucking fantastic because it just
Yep.
sets the tone. It's better to me than the Imperial March. It sets the tone for Vader. How this motherfucker is just one thing in his mind. Where is Obi-Wan? That's his motivation. It's just Kenobi. That's his whole fucking thing. And just knowing that, it's kind of like Michael Myers. What was Michael Myers' motivation? It was Laurie Strode. That's what he wanted, right?
Yep.
Same thing with Vader. Vader's whole thing now, and that's one thing I will give Bob Iger, if you're listening, I'm actually giving you a compliment, you jack off. Here's the thing. You actually did Vader right in some ways. You're doing Vader correctly. Okay, that's the only compliment you'll ever get from me. You're doing Vader correctly. All right, but if you want to see more Vader, dude, episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I would say the duel he had with Obi-Wan, episode 6, that was good too. But to really see him, I mean, the motherfucker choked out a guy for nothing just to draw Obi-Wan out, choked the dude out, and then killed a kid right in front of him, killed his son.
To see, I agree with both Jeff and Frankie D. To see Vader's truth, you have to go into the comics, and I grew up with the comics and on until they started writing the books in the late 80s, early 90s. In those series, you really get a sense of how much of a badass he was. Like, he tricked a whole bunch of Jedi. It was like 12 to 15 Jedi to coming in there and in this meeting, and he killed them all, like wiped them all out by himself.
So in Dark Horse Comics, you really see before he had Inquisitors, he was on a personal spree to rid the Earth of Jedi.
Yeah.
It took him 3 times to kill a couple, or the first one he was sent after, it took him 3 times to kill him because the suit just impaired him so bad. But after that, once he got used to the suit, fucking killing machine, dude. He put Michael Myers to rest. He was just so badass.
There was a book shortly after Disney took over, and it was not I, Vader or something like that, but it was talking about Vader immediately after the transition into the armor. And you actually saw him fighting and then making those adjustments to his armor. And he was adjusting and becoming and changing up his style. And then at the end of the book, he was Vader. And I was like, okay. But yeah.
He did upgrade his suits himself a few times throughout the book series.
Let me and real quick, and then we'll get back to this. So another thing you can do as well. There's another book. I'm actually listening to it on Audible when I'm working. It's called Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader. That is fucking awesome. You don't realize how close he actually was to of Leia, baby Leia. It was like how close he was if he had met Belle's wife. Like
Yeah.
It was just fucking insane. So if you want to know anything about Vader, dude, it's a lot of shit on YouTube. That all Vader stuff, and it's all comic shit. Tells you
Yep.
different Vader stories and all that.
Yeah.
Anything you want to know about Vader, which is what I've done. I've done the research to do the character correctly. You got to go do your just go. It's out there, man. You just got to be a student of the game. I used to be a student of the game when it comes to wrestling. I'm now a student of the game when it comes to everything dark side.
It's out there. And
Yeah.
Audible is probably the best thing on road trips to me because that's what I listen to on road trips.
Oh hell yeah! And a lot of people, and my wife tells me all the time, she's like, oh, because my wife is a part of a book club and she likes to read books. I was like, I don't even fucking read shit. I will listen, but I'm not going to read.
Oh, I read it all. But Vader
Yeah.
has the backup
Yeah.
pretty
Star
quick.
Killer. That's true. But it's not.
We don't consider it canon because we
Yeah, it's not
can't.
canon.
I mean, I love.
Hey, Star Killer!
I know. I
Yeah.
keep hoping at some point that he'll just magically show up, just somewhere, somehow.
Listen, we got with the changes that they're making right now at Disney with Lucasfilm. You could very well see start. They are into
Yeah.
making money, is what they're realizing. They have not. I know this is straying away, Jeff. I apologize. It's always
No,
happens
we're
when-
good. This
happens when
is what
Frank
this
D
is all
joins
about.
This show, okay. They realize. I don't know if you guys saw the report. Disney has not made a profit off of Star Wars since they bought it. They have not made any money from Star Wars. They are
George
trying
Lucas
to-
has.
Oh, George, of course, but they did not. They bought Lucasfilm for like what 4.2 billion is what they bought it for. They've only made like $1 billion off the project, and this is including all the fucking movies. They have not made any money off this project. So you got to bring in characters that people want to see. You got to bring in just you got to do different shit, but you also got to go back to what made them the original. You know, the number one figure right now that collectors want, it is Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That figure from the Black Series, that Revenge of the Sith Anakin Skywalker, it goes over $100 fucking dollars.
Yeah,
just
it's
for
like a
that figure.
165 to 175 right now, I
Correct.
think.
Correct. And they just brought out on May the 4th, they just released some new stuff. It was a Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith. They released a 3-pack with from episode 1. It was Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Maul. They just brought out the new Darth Maul lightsaber hilt from Shop Disney. That was on there for like $500, and everybody fucking bought them.
Yep.
You know, I got a whole wall over here of nothing but shit. Okay, so it's just there's a lot of money to be made with the original. Now I'm gonna tell you what people don't fucking buy. People are not buying the Acolyte bullshit. They're not buying that. I wonder why.
A lot of stores, I know, like Target isn't. They haven't got any TVC, the vintage collection
Well,
stuff
they
in a
discontinued
while.
those.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
TVCs are still being made. They
No,
just
no.
made a whole bunch of them for
They
the Acolyte.
discontinued them. They discontinued them at Target. Target's no longer selling them.
I was I didn't see them
okay.
at Target. Yeah.
Yeah.
Target's no longer selling them. And they just released a new Baven Skull that I'm going to get. Baven Skull for Mercenary at Walmart
Yep.
exclusive.
Yeah.
They just put that out. I'm getting that. I'm probably going to order 2 or 3 of them motherfuckers and put them on eBay. You know.
Hey, if you come across them, let me know. Because I didn't want to. I should have pre-ordered it, but I didn't.
Oh no, they're still there, dude. They
Are
have
they?
them right now. Yeah, they're like
Because I was at
$24.
Walmart this weekend and I didn't see
No,
them.
it's a pre-order. You have to
Okay.
go on the website. It comes out October.
Okay.
Yeah, but they just got that. I got that. A New Hope Vader that just came out too.
I got that one.
Yeah, awesome fucking figure, by the way. So I'm
Yeah,
still
we were
missing
talking
one.
about. Oh, there's
Empire
a
Strikes Back.
Palpatine. There's a Palpatine
With a
coming
throne?
out
Yeah,
with a
with a throne.
throne for Black
Yeah.
Series.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Similar to
I
how
didn't
they
see that
did
one.
Black Adam with the throne.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, well,
one's-
yeah, but except one of them is actually going to make money. But,
Yeah. But
Whatever.
that one I'm definitely going to pick up when I find it. I like finding them in the store. It feels so good when you find them in the
So
store.
Ollie's is a good place to go. Look
We don't
for
have
those
a Ollie.
figures.
Yeah.
We got one in San Antonio, and I
Yeah, we
raved that
do.
motherfucker. It's off. Let's see, where is that off? It's off of Highway 90. Okay,
Yeah.
and
say that's right.
Military Drive. It's going towards Lackland Air Force Base. So I went over there and I raided that store, and I'm like, where the fuck is all your Star Wars shit? You know, I only found one, and it was Han Solo. So
I got a Han Solo somewhere. It might be in a box actually. I got a I need to rearrange my office. I'm going to be moving my Spawn stuff into storage,
Okay.
and then it's going to be all Star Wars and Star Wars Lego.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'm not getting rid of my Spawn, but it's going to go in storage for a little while.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be doing something with Spawn too, so stay tuned.
Yeah, don't get me
Yeah.
started, man. Yeah. Back to the Bad Batch.
Yes.
There you go.
So we did see Wolfpack at the midway point in this season, I believe it was.
We did.
Hmm.
With Hunter and Rets, and I think it was Rets when I'm trying to remember what part it was in. It was on one of the bases. I think it was when Gregor pulled up.
Yeah.
Not Gregor, I'm sorry. The Wolfpack
Wolf.
leader,
Wolf.
Captain Wolf.
Wolf was leading them to stop them
Yes.
Yes,
from escaping.
that's right.
Yeah, and that's what that mysterious.
The first assassin when he
Yes,
first showed up.
Exactly. Which I mean, once again, damn man, should have been fucking Tech.
No.
Nah, let Tech be.
So you guys
Let
aren't.
him be dead.
So you guys aren't getting it. It's just like when off topic very quick. It's just like fucking WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes should have fucking turned heel. That would have been the emotional attachment. But
Oh,
go
he's
ahead.
going to.
Go ahead.
We're getting there.
I've given up on it, but go ahead, sir.
But
Okay.
I just wanted to shout out to the Wolfpack because we actually got the Wolfpack.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what happened? Okay, so what? So here's the thing. So what happened to Wolf? What happened to Commander Cody and all these different characters? We never saw any of them ever again.
I feel like
Yeah.
Cody's gonna just pop back in another
He
project at
does.
some point.
He
He
really
has
does.
Well,
Yeah, well, he's on, but they were on Rebels at the end, right? So
They did show up at the end of Rebels.
yeah. So see, this is where I'm like, see what I'm saying? Like, there's one. I mean,
so what was Frankie? What was he doing at the end of Rebels?
he was with Captain Rex, and
when Cody no, Wolf and Gregor are with Rex in
Mhm.
Rebels. Where was Cody at?
see that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Okay, so in between all of this that was going on, that over these years, because it's 19 years from Revenge of the Sith through Return A New Hope. So you've got all that. Cody, remember at the time of A New Hope, only the 501st has any clones left within their the Stormtrooper Brigade or any of that stuff. Only the 501st has clones. Of those, I'm pretty sure that they became more of a number. They were phased out.
Yep.
We may see, and this is something that I would be interested in seeing, a 501st, something on the 501st, which details how all the clones are brought back into just the 501st because they're dying out. And that's why in A New Hope, the stormtroopers can't shoot for shit. Because they are normal, regular people now. There are no clones. They're no clones.
They're not clones.
Yeah, we only saw like when it comes to the 501st and the clones, we only saw one of the clones in Obi-Wan, and he was homeless, and he was
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
I
the
don't
only
think
thing
he
we
was
saw.
501st though. I think he was just a clone that
Well,
escaped.
remember, they phased out all. It doesn't matter which clone you was,
Yeah.
501st or anything. They phased them all out. Palpatine got rid
They
of
do.
all of them.
Exactly, I got
So
that.
yeah,
And so he was that, but
which I think he did that too to hurt Vader. Those because everybody knows the 501st were loyal to Anakin
Anakin.
Skywalker, Vader.
see,
So
I
that's another way
don't
to
think
punch
that the 501st, the 501st still has all their clones up until A New Hope. It's the other clones and the other units and commands that lost all of their clones. They were either killed. Now, in the way that they had it in the EU was they had a life lock, right? They regenerate, they age twice as long. So by the time of New Hope, they were all dead because they were too old and they died and all that stuff. They kind of did away with that after Disney took it over, but yet and still, those clones with the 501st was still there. That was the only unit that had clones, and then they all died on, the Death Star.
Yeah, I kind of like your idea though, concept of just a 501st show, and I think that would actually be kind of cool. A 501st Vader show would be interesting because you hear about all these missions the 501st went on with Vader. They were Vader's fist. That's the whole point of it.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see these different stories and just if Palpatine made the decision to just I want to wipe out the clones period and Vader sticks up for the 501st, kind of see that type of shit. But then once again, that would be kind of going, with Vader showing empathy to,
But I think that was the point of that scene in Kenobi of showing the clone down and out homeless, begging with his helmet that, the clones were basically destitute.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that in the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
We also see it in a couple episodes of Rebels as well.
Yes. They are, their whole thing was we have to free all the clones that are in this thing to give them some sort of freedom, to give them what we have found. And it's that point of, what happens to the clones, this and this. Because now Order 66 is no longer relevant.
Right. But I'm wondering though if you can, and I wonder if we're going to get this at some point, because I feel like this is not the last D. Bradley Baker appearance or project we're going to get. I feel like the idea of what happens to the clones after is going to happen in Rex. I feel like Captain Rex is going to get his own show. That kind of ties.
If I had my wallet, I'd say shut up and take my money because I'm all about it.
I hope not. We're seeing Rex into everything. I think I agree with Frankie on this, that, give the other clones out there some shine.
Yeah, or Cody. Cody gets a show, but I feel like there's going to be something
so probably 11
to kind of just bridge the gap.
Yeah.
And Rex is the most recognizable clone other than Cody. And now you have the Bad Batch, but people resonate with Rex. So I feel like it's Disney. They're probably going to go that route and, have Rex.
And there's something, I mean, I know this would be kind of like fucking with stuff, but once again, if you're looking at it from this emotional attachment, like there's some unresolved things you can do with Captain Rex that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
Okay, how would Rex feel knowing that the guy he's been fighting against, his old, Anakin Skywalker, is fucking Vader? We didn't get there was no closure with that. See, Ahsoka knows. Ahsoka found out.
I thought Ahsoka told him in Rebels.
I thought she did tell him.
Yeah,
if she did, I may have missed it.
She did, but there's that gap of time. Hey, Kelvin.
What up?
There's that gap of time though between her and even with her in Tales of the Jedi, her deciding to be Fulcrum and him kind of doing his side mission. There's some point where they have to come back together or reconnect or something.
I mean, she still has to be rescued.
And just a lot of these shows, once again, okay, so really the thing with Ahsoka is if you didn't watch Rebels, you have no idea what the hell is going on in Ahsoka. You don't know any of these characters. So it's kind of like if you do a Captain Rex show and you show the history of Captain Rex and his attachment to General Skywalker, that's something new for the new fans. I mean, we're the old heads. We get shit, you know what I mean? But it's the newer people that's got to catch up to speed on everything. So when we talk about these new projects, and I love, like I said, the concept of a 501st centered show to show that point of view from them. Because, I mean, we saw the Clone Wars. We saw that. But just specifically this side over here, these particular clones, the ones that are loyal to Vader, that would be an interesting show right there. To see them, I mean, did any of them have any kind of, resentment to the Empire? You know, were they starting to feel like, okay, some of this shit's not right? You know what I'm saying? Because during the Clone Wars, they all worked together. You know what I mean? But you had some that were specifically with Anakin Skywalker, they were loyal to him. But did they? There's a lot of shit here. The different lies. I mean, what like we talked about earlier with Omega. What was her motivation for joining the rebellion? It's because the Empire was bad. That's what it was. That's another motivation. They just, even though we did this and we blew up Mount Tantus and all this bullshit, the Empire is still bad. It's still here. They're still doing all this shit. I don't know. I still don't understand how we.
Hey, we had an
Ewoks.
Ewok
Accurate.
cartoon.
Accurate. I'm
We had
here
an
for
Ewok
it.
cartoon back in the day, but I would still be all about it.
You know, I had a little kid Ewok that was trying to take a picture with me over there, but she was scared to death.
As she should have been.
Yeah, she should have been. I was like, none of these kids that are coming up to me have they ever watched episode 3? They don't know.
Did y'all see that force pull? I pulled a drink.
I
didn't
did.
see
I
that.
did. That was a good force pull.
Is that what kind of cup is that?
7 brew.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm here for an
If she
Ewok
really
show.
cared about you, she'd have sent us all one.
It'll come in the mail in the next 2 months.
Hey, we're not that far apart.
I'm just saying, I agree with Bill on that. I mean, Ewok show, I'm here for
Yeah.
it.
Well, I
they
know
did
the
have the
Ewoks-
cartoon back in the day that was actually good.
I
They
know the
actually
Ewoks
had.
were popular. The
Hold
Ewoks
on.
were popular at Star Wars night. I know that.
Yeah.
Hold on. They had not only had the cartoons, they had two
The movies.
movies.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? They're Ewoks, and I'm not mad, and I'd take more Ewoks.
I'm here for it. Bring all
That's
the
just
Ewoks.
me. I'm a Star Wars
Well-
guy. Give me Ewoks.
I was dying at the trailer. I know we'll get to it. I know we're going to talk about the Lego.
We're going to talk Legos and
That's
action
all.
figures.
It
we get there.
made me happy. It made me happy.
We may have to do a part 2.
I'll be down for that too. Listen, Bad Batch.
He owns it. You know what, Bill?
Yes.
You probably
Disney.
still own it. It's probably in a box in your
I
attic.
watch it
my
on
man.
Disney Plus all the time. I've watched a
Dude,
couple of
Same.
I go
I
back and
watch it
watch
with mine.
the Clone Wars, the original 2D Clone Wars. 'Cause it's
Same.
the best one out there.
That's so good.
The best clone ever is Fordo, not Rex.
Fordo.
Who Rex was made
Dude.
based on Fordo. Ipso
Fordo's
facto,
last
Polonius.
stand.
Yeah.
I seen a dude build that shit in Lego, and it was amazing. Like he had custom Fordo Lego minifigs made for it, and it was top notch.
But you know what's funny? How much the Captain Rex Bad Batch or Captain Rex Black Series figure goes for? It's up there with Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker.
It is his OG
It's
one,
pretty
yeah.
yeah, it's pretty hefty.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I've come across several of them on eBay. And I'm like, am I really gonna pay this much money for a fucking toy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we
Yeah.
will.
I have it on. I have him and Cody in TVC, and there's supposed to be a 2-pack with him and Cody coming out eventually. I don't know when they're going to drop that one, but I know that one's supposed to be a drop. But what up, dude?
So I mean, real quick, when we sum up here real quick on the Bad Batch from the start to finish, I mean, what do we say the legacy of the Bad Batch is, as far as like what it was able to do for Disney Plus? I mean, following this journey and following this particular set of rebellious clones and Omega and all that, are we satisfied with the way it ended?
I am. I think it. Filoni, I always feel like is back. I feel like he's doing what he did with the prequels, with the Clone Wars and Rebels, of fleshing it out, and is like, we're gonna make it, because again, we all know the prequel backlash back then was very real. I feel like again with the sequel backlash, it's deserved, because I'm not a fan of the sequels, but
Nobody is.
nobody
And if
is.
they say they are, they're lying.
But I think here it's trying to connect. He's doing what he did with the prequels. It's okay. We brought in. We're going to throw in Project Necromancer to show that, this is
Mhm.
something Palpatine's done for a while. It's not just something new.
Yeah.
I think it's going to lead into and feed into more of what we're going to get in Mando. I feel like we're going to get
The
more
movie,
of an
yeah.
explanation. Yes. and even some of if we get extra content or that's based in the Mando universe or the Mandoverse, I think it's going to fill in, kind of tie in. Here's the previous research. Here's how it's going to flow into here. So I think it's just throwing the idea out there of, if we throw it out there early, maybe people will buy it for Rise of Skywalker. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it gave us a new perspective for Star Wars in terms of you have everything told from the viewpoint of the clones, not necessarily directly Skywalker based. So, I mean, it's still in the same universe, but doesn't necessarily, kind of like Rebels, doesn't directly rely on the Skywalkers. So I thought it was effective. I liked the sciencey side of it a little bit. And we got Cad Bane, we got Finnick, we got.
I will
some
never
guys.
be mad for getting Cad Bane or
Never,
Finnick.
it's never bad for more Cad Bane.
So I will say
could've
this:
done
as
without
far as their
Boba Fett.
legacy, I'll kind of look at it like
He
Vin
did in Boba
Diesel
Fett.
and say it's family.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I'm just, something. I'm just a sucker I'm just a sucker, honestly, for just the fact that we're still getting Star Wars content. Now,
Yes.
and that's the thing about it. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm most likely not going to watch the Acolyte show. I can't get with it. But if people like it, hey, more power to you if you like it. I'm not here to force anybody to like something or don't like it. I'm just saying what I don't like. Now, when it comes to the Bad Batch, I came in late on that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I liked what I saw. I liked them, Project Necromancer and all of this stuff. And I said, okay, this is going to tie to the sequel trilogy somehow. They got to go back and right the fucking wrongs. Is what they.
That's what they're doing right now. That's what they
exactly trying to do.
And I told you, we were having that conversation, Frank. I told you Bad Batch was better than what you thought it was.
You did. And it's like, but I'm such an asshole that I have to,
nobody will argue that, Frank.
No, exactly. I admit the shit. I'm not like one of these other fuckers that walk around and I'm just a good guy and yada. No, you're not. Fuck you. I am what I am. You know what I'm saying? So it just takes me a while and I'm such a critic on every fucking thing. And that goes back to wrestling. I used to be the biggest wrestling fucking mark until I learned the business. So when I learned the business and then worked inside the business and all this and know the intricacies of how everything works, it's hard for me to sit back and be like, enjoy something. You can't enjoy it anymore. You have to look at it from a different. I went into let me tell you what I did. This is going to sound like crazy. All right. Every time the Bad Batch happened, guess what it was in my house? That was spaghetti night.
Ah.
Yeah, that was spaghetti night. Me and my wife would eat spaghetti
on Wednesday
to watch the Bad Batch. That's just what we did. Okay, that's what it was to us. I went into that shit as a fan. I didn't go into it as like, oh well, I wish they would have done this wrong. Playing Monday morning quarterback. I never did that shit. I went into it as a fan because I was genuinely like, where is this story gonna go? Okay, now I was happy for the happy ending, but fuck, man, I wish they could have done so much more because there was so much open-ended shit that happened with the end of that show to where you kind of wonder now where they're going to go with this. And the slate for the Star Wars projects that are coming up, there's nothing on there for the clones. There's nothing on there. It's the Skeleton Crew. It's the Skeleton Crew. It's what is it? The Acolyte. There's nothing else after that. So
let's take a look at the comments real quick. We got Brian giving us props. Thank you. We appreciate it. That's what I personally like to try to do is bring some positive and hopefully somebody learns something while listening to us talk the Star Wars universe. So I like this question a lot. I don't think Skeleton Crew takes place within the same.
It is.
It is
verse.
the same.
Is it?
It is.
I thought it took place Old Republic with Skeleton Crew.
No, all this stuff that's happening right now,
okay.
This is all connected. Skeleton Crew, Mando, Ahsoka, all this shit is all leading to the Filoni movie.
I knew that. I just couldn't remember if Skeleton Crew was part of the Mando verse, if it takes place in the Old Republic.
The only thing that they're coming out with that takes place in the Old Republic is the
Acolyte. Yeah. Well, they're calling that one, what is it? The High Republic era.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Disney's
for
High Republic bullshit.
I mean, it happened. So, I mean, it technically is in the books. So,
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about those books. Not.
But,
those books are.
Yeah.
There was some good stuff in those books, man.
There was.
the comic
well,
right now is
we'll
fire,
see.
dude. I'm not gonna bullshit nobody.
We'll see what happens when the show comes out.
We'll see with the show, man.
Because
We'll see with the show.
I saw the
Yeah.
fucking. Let me tell you something. I saw the Acolyte the other day, right? And I don't know what the fuck to think about the Acolyte. The mask looks very Abawa to me, with because it like have a bunch of teeth on the side of the motherfucker. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of sketchy about it. But and I'm saying this shit now as we're saying, oh, I'm not gonna watch it. I'll probably watch it.
You're gonna watch it, dude.
Yeah.
There we go.
I
You're gonna
probably
watch
because I'm a Star Wars mark, so of course I'm gonna fucking watch it. I just have to keep on my persona.
So this is. We talked about Bad Batch start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the Bad Batch.
How dare you?
Dude,
Oh.
shut your mouth.
Wait. Boop, 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 boop,
That's spaghetti night for me.
boop, boop, boop.
How can you hate spaghetti
The
night?
reason why I hate the Bad Batch has nothing to do with the characters. Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, especially Tech. Y'all don't know how much Tech dying hurt me. I would
Dude,
have rather one of the others died, especially that punk ass Crosshair. And I especially hate Omega. And all of that is because of Filoni. When you understand where he got the Bad Batch from and what we missed out on because of him, oh my God, look up, and this is for you, Frankie D, look up the Null Arcs.
No
That's it. Look up the Null Arcs.
Okay.
That's where he got the concept of the Bad Batch from.
No arcs.
The Null Arcs. And when I tell you, Frankie, go and listen to the Karen Travis Clone Commando books. I guarantee you will say, oh my God, I hate the Bad Batch too. Now, they are awesome. This cartoon took me to, I loved it. I loved what it was doing. I love what it did for Star Wars. I love for it, bringing into some focus. Episode 9, Project Necromancer. Omega's annoying, but I loved her.
So we got to talk about Emery. Emery, is that how you say her name? Yeah.
Emery.
Yes.
We have to talk to her because there is a doctor in Mando who is overseeing the cloning project.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
could possibly be her son, which was one of my favorite things I seen from the weekend.
Yes.
As far as because the glasses, everything makes sense
Yes.
that it could possibly be her son, and we know she leaves with Echo
Yep.
to go help them save the other clones, which is what her mission essentially becomes, is saving the clones. And with her being a doctor, that makes sense.
Another.
And it also makes sense for her to possibly have had a child and this guy who works now for the Empire, who works in genetics, being potentially her son, because he says he learned it from his mom.
Yeah.
Or being stonewalled into
Yeah.
working for the Empire.
Yes.
Because of whatever. I made that connection too.
Yep.
Originally, I was so upset that the reason why I didn't like Omega was because of why she was created. Yet another way for Felonius to say, aha, Boba Fett isn't the only one, and he's no longer special and unique.
Well, we all know that's bullshit.
Well, that's exactly what they did. What he did with Omega. Boba Fett was the only unaltered, ungrown, super grown clone, and this, and now we have Omega, and it changes all of that.
Well,
so you got Alpha and Omega.
nah.
Emery's a clone as well.
Yeah, but
Yes.
see, here's the thing, though. This is where you got to get it. This is how I look at this. Okay, so yes, Omega's it's the new drink, but you can't replace Boba Fett. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Because
So-
that's a smaller that Bad Batch audience is a smaller niche audience.
Okay,
Boba
so
Fett goes all the way back to the original.
I'm with you. Hold on,
you know
you're
what I'm
not
saying?
going to find a bigger Boba Fett fan than
Yeah.
I. here's where, and this is my problem with Felonius. He created Din Djarin to supplant Boba Fett, right? And then they created that atrocious book of Boba Fett, which has made him almost. They did the same thing to him that they did to Luke Skywalker in Episode 8.
One does not speak of Book of Boba Fett on live TV.
But let me ask you a question: is that okay? I know you're the whole thing with Dave. I understand. I get it. But we got to remember something here, people. It's not Filoni at the time this is going down that's pulling the strings here. You saw Kathleen Kennedy pulling the strings.
No. You're not
Filoni. So Filoni has had full creative control over everything in Star Wars, not Kathleen Kennedy.
Hold on a second. We can blame Kathleen Kennedy for.
I am blaming Kathleen Kennedy.
Okay, but for Boba
Yes.
Fett, because remember, there was supposed to be a Boba Fett movie. It was Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni has long since hated Boba Fett. That's why he did him that way during the Clone Wars cartoon, the original, which Kathleen Kennedy had nothing to do with. When they came along, he said, I don't want to do Boba Fett. Boba Fett sucks. Those are Dave Filoni's words. Kathleen Kennedy ran with it and did all this other stuff. But it was Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau that said, we got someone better. We got a real Mandalorian. We've got this. And that's how that whole thing came about. People kept saying, are we going to get Boba Fett? Are we going to get Boba Fett? Boom, 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 boom. And so they brought in Boba Fett. But then the way to get rid of a guy to make him unpalatable to anyone else and to make your guy seem a superstar, they gave him the Luke Skywalker treatment. Nobody who's seen Episode 8, and that was their, the sequels were their introduction, likes Luke Skywalker. The same thing with the Book of Boba Fett. You can go back and you can go, but he's not the same. That whole, come on, man.
Well, okay. To agree with you on that, just look at what they did in the Book of Boba Fett. When it comes to, it wasn't no longer about him. You brought Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka and Grogu onto his show, and it was no longer about him. That was to push his other. But then, in reality, they fucked themselves. Because when season 3 of The Mandalorian came out, people wondered, why the fuck is Grogu back with Din Djarin when he was with Skywalker? What?
Because Felonius got control back of. They did that
and fucked themselves.
They did that because everything that they were trying to do with that disastrous Book of Boba Fett, they failed.
The only good thing is we got Cad Bane out of it. That live action was
the only good thing about that is they killed Cad Bane.
So here's another thing I want to bring up right quick. Listen. Here's the thing, we got to think about with this too. So they're going to do the Mandalorian and Grogu film, and they're putting a lot into that. They're putting a lot into the popularity of quote unquote Baby Yoda. Now,
Grogu.
Baby Yoda.
Grogu.
The naming concept.
We know what it is, but to the casual Mark fan, it's Baby Yoda. So when it comes down to, they're talking about this movie's going to come out in 2026 possibly, the earliest, maybe 27.
Yeah, 26.
Is anyone going to give a fuck about Baby Yoda by that time? All the people that have grown up, that fell in love with Baby Yoda, are they going to still give a fuck when this movie comes out about Baby Yoda?
I think they will, because I think in between here and now,
with the sour taste of season 3 of The Mandalorian, are people going to give a shit? Just like this. Are people going to give a fuck? Because it's pretty much out there. Luke Skywalker is back. Are people going to give a fuck about Luke Skywalker after what they did to him?
Yes, simply because it's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. We'll see.
So let's close out the Bad Batch real quick. So the end. We're going straight to episode 13. Is it 13? 15. Episode 15.
15.
Omega is once again escaping the Empire, and she does the most Omega thing ever, which is cause complete chaos
On the way out.
on the
Yeah.
way out. I mean, she straight up releases the one thing nobody can control.
Nope.
That was it, the Gillabeast.
The
Yeah.
Zilla, the Zilla
The
Beast.
Zilla Beast.
They had their fucking Jurassic fucking Park moment.
I was happy though
No,
for it
the
because
Zilla
he
Beast-
just got done. That was one of the saddest episodes of the Clone Wars.
It really was.
That was.
But now the Zilla Beast literally has Mount Tatis all to himself. There ain't a damn thing on that island that can mess with him.
I'm like, be free, run.
Just like how the fucking the T-Rex and all them had Jurassic Park at the end.
There you
For
go.
themselves.
Nature.
Yeah, I mean they
They
got the
The
whole
United
motherfucker
States.
they even had like a little the Zilla Beast actually had like a little T-Rex that
It did.
ground
It did.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Nature found a way.
Yeah, this is
There.
like
Yep.
Jurassic Park, man. They had their Jurassic Park moment.
Like, I mean, the best thing ever is when Emery and Echo are like trying to track down Omega, and it's just like follow the fucking chaos. And they're like, Omega was here.
Omega
Like
was
the-
here.
Like, she's like, well, how do you know it was Omega? Omega was here. Trust us.
Yeah.
Well, it's like at this point, Echo knows, like, if you just follow the chaos, you're gonna find Omega.
Yeah.
So we've already talked about the shot that Crosshair takes at the end. I mean, Hunter is just like, trust me, Omega knows what to do. Just take the shot. And it was like this perfectly timed. She stabs him and ducks. Crosshair takes the shot with one good hand that barely functions, and they kill him.
No, they shot him to shit.
Yeah.
And he fell off the fucking bridge as well, which was even better. So I was like, they're scraping him up. Like something's going to eat him down below.
Yeah. Hopefully
And-
the Zilla Beast.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
great. I'm here for
Yeah,
it.
I'm here for it. Exactly. And then we get to the ending, and we see Emery and Echo fly together to help, to continue the fight with Rex and to help the other clones. We see everybody just kind of sitting, and they take that breath, just like, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
finally we can take a breather. And then we get like the blackout, which is where I kind of thought it was going to end, but then she turns on the lights in the cave. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? I'm like, oh, damn, Omega's grown up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, Hunter's like, what, you think you're just going to leave and not say goodbye? like the most fucking dad moment ever. And it's kind of like, well, damn. All right, Hunter. And they have their little conversation. I mean, she still didn't. She just says the rebellion needs pilots, and like she never really gives us the good reason that we discussed. But I thought it was a fitting in because she grows up and her brothers let her go. So what did y'all think about the ending of how it actually ended, minus us not really getting a good reason for her to leave?
You know what? She did say a little bit more than just the rebellion. The rebellion needs pilots. She pretty much said, this is, my fight.
Yes.
You
Y'all
guys
had
have
y'all's
done what
fight.
you guys have had your fight. This is this. The rebellion needs pilots. And so she let that go. Again, I think that if it was a, more of a sacrifice and, it might have been just her and Hunter, it would have been more poignant. it might have hit harder.
Yeah.
But I did say, okay, so they're going to continue this and we'll see Omega somewhere else. All right.
I'm telling you, we're
I
going to
see.
see her in that new series that the other girl is writing. Rogue, is it Rogue Squadron?
This
That
Rogue
makes-
Squadron.
That makes the most sense because you have to get her out of the Skywalker, event or the Skywalker of it all, right? You need to get her out of there because it's going to
Mhm.
mess up what you already have.
Yep.
We can't do. There's nothing we can do about the sequels unless they completely retcon them. So You just
No more
gotta,
retconning. No more
yeah.
retconning.
That's the only way they're gonna. So they have to work around that, and so for all of that to make sense, they have to get her out of the way somehow. So why not stick her in the Outer Rim, which is I think where the Rogue Squadron's supposed to take place anyway.
It is. Yeah. From what I'm reading, it's the Outer Rim, and we're
We
so
might
we'll
we
see where
might
it
not,
picks up.
we may not see her for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably be
Because
2 years at least.
I don't know, dude. Let me put it like this. Like I said, things are happening right now at Lucasfilm where they are going back to. I know people say, "Oh, let's move away from the Skywalker shit." They're not moving away from it. They're going back to it because
Yeah.
that's what makes them money. This at the end of the day, this is a business. Okay, they're gonna make money. They don't give a fuck about all the rest of the shit that we're talking about. They're into it for the bottom line. They're into it to make money. So they realize what makes money. They're gonna go back to what makes them money. The shit that they don't want to go back to. They tried with their characters, and it didn't work. They tried with Rey, they tried with Kylo Ren, they tried with all these different characters. That shit didn't work. They have to go back to what works. Now, if you can take Omega, you can and put her somewhere where we can put her out the way until we need her. I'm cool with that. But unfortunately, right now, well, not unfortunately for me because I fucking love it. They're going back to what works, which is the prequels and the original trilogy. That's what they're going back to.
With that though, let's jump in to Tales of the Empire that
Oh,
released
let's
May
jump into
4th.
this piece of shit.
So we got 6 brand new episodes of Star Wars on Saturday, May the 4th, which, oh, by the way, was free comic book day. I hope everybody got out and got some free comic
Yeah.
books.
Hell yeah,
Definitely
got a
did.
bunch of them, motherfuckers.
Great.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like I sent that out to my unit, just like, hey, you want to do something with the kids that's free, and it gives them opportunity to pick up something to either color in or freaking read. Go do it.
Yeah, Jeff.
I loved it.
Listen,
I love free comic book day. It's my favorite day of the year, and it just so happened to correspond with May the 4th.
Okay, I gotta say something real quick because I got to jump off here in a minute. We're gonna talk about Tales of the Empire real quick. Let me give a little soliloquy, as Dusty Rose would say. All right, and then I'll let you guys handle it. Okay. I thought this was a complete fucking waste of my time. All right.
What?
Okay. You take a character here, Jabron. You know, in the first 3 episodes. I mean, the only cool part about that was General Grievous. That was the only thing that was cool about that. Okay.
We also got Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, those were the only 2 things in the whole fucking thing. Okay, you take a character I don't give a fuck about, and you give her 3 episodes, whatever. Then we go to Berzhavi. That's the one I was interested in. That's the one I wanted to see, because what's going to be that fucking showdown here with Berzhavi, and when Vader sees her fucking ass after what happened in the Clone Wars. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting to see that, but then I look at it from the perspective of Vader, the way Vader thinks. He's not Anakin Skywalker. He's Vader. So whatever Anakin Skywalker did, he didn't do that. So that's what we were waiting on, and to me it was a bait and switch, because literally what you saw of Vader in those episodes is what you saw in the fucking trailer. There was nothing more, nothing less. So
Yeah.
that to me, it was a bait and switch. I liked the main character simply because the fourth sister, simply because of how ruthless she was. But you also knew at the same time, Berzhavi wasn't going to go to the dark side. She was never a Sith. She was trying to show.
Well, none of the Inquisitors were really ever Sith, except for the first 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know that they were just they had to survive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you look at her, and Berzhavi wanted to call out the corruption of the Jedi Council. She thought that's why she bombed the temple. She wanted to bring this corruption. So when you see now that there's an even bigger evil than what you thought, you're either gonna become a casualty of the war or you're gonna join. We all knew she wasn't gonna last as an Inquisitor. It wasn't gonna fucking happen because she was still good, even though she did a bad thing. She was still good. So in that retrospect, I like that story, but I didn't give a fuck about the first 3. I just didn't care. That could have been spent on somebody else. Maybe I'm the minority on this, but I went into it with an open mind. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the end. Like, this is it. Tales of the Empire, right? When you put Tales of the Empire up against Tales of the Jedi, there's no fucking comparison. Tales of the Jedi blows this shit out the fucking water. Period. what did you get in Tales of the Jedi? You got, you got Qui-Gon. You got all this shit. Skywalker Saga is just based on, you can branch from that. I would love to see Anakin's journey as Vader. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean right there. You need more. I know it, and I'm speaking on this because of just my love affair and obsession with Vader. But you need more Vader because there's more to the character than just, I'm your father. There's more to it than that. I want to see, what was this? And there's, honestly, dude, there's lots of fan films. I just saw one that was on YouTube where Vader fought Vader. Sounds crazy, I know, but he actually fought himself. It was a light side Vader who was Anakin that was telling him that you were supposed to be the chosen one, and you let everybody down. So he fought himself. So there's why are fans making better content when it relates to these characters than exactly than what Disney's doing? Obi-Wan Kenobi, real quick, and then sorry, Jeff, I know
You're good.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, there's a fan film of Obi-Wan Kenobi on YouTube that Deborah Chow and Disney completely fucking ripped off of. They stole the entire concept. Everything they stole from that fucking fan film is in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show except Vader. They stole it all. So when you say felonious stealing shit, yes, sir, you are absolutely correct. They steal shit all the time, and they still can't do it better than we can. I'm at the point here where I'm like, listen, I can do a fucking fan film here in San Antonio, and it would be 10 times better than anything to do with Disney. You can do a fan film. It could be me in there with Revan, or me in there with Nihilus. Of course, I'll get fucking, Malgus, Darth Bane, all these motherfuckers. I can just call the whole damn movie just, the Darths. We're just, going around San Antonio, just, fucking shit up.
Fucking shit up.
You know what I'm saying? But
Ain't
no,
messing up no more.
But just, I just, honestly, when it comes down to the Tales of the Empire record, I was so disappointed in that, man. I was looking forward to that. I really was, and I didn't like it. They kind of lost me. They really did. It's just, I mean, Barris Offer was cool, but this first Morgan and Elsbeth, like, who gives a fuck, man?
Well, yeah, hold on. This is why they give a fuck, and agree or disagree. Because people wanted to know more about where Morgan Elsbeth came from,
Yes,
because of Ahsoka. So that's why the give a fuck was there.
Did they really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there had to be give a fuck there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it.
Not you.
Yeah.
We understand, but people do.
Yeah. Well, and
even
just the culture, even just the culture of Dathomir, just getting
I've
into
seen
that
this
more.
shit in the night. I've seen this shit in Jedi Survivor, the Night Sisters. There's a whole fucking mission about that shit on Dathomir. I've gone to Dathomir several times.
So what happened? The video game aside, what happened with Elsa's the Night Sisters? Because in Disney canon, there's only like 3 that were left.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what happened to them?
I mean, we knew General Grievous did his thing.
We had all of them. So what happened to all of them? Well, this kind of shows how Grievous and them just went and eradicated all of them.
Yep.
Most
and not just the plain tribe that Morgan Elsbeth is from, but also the mountain tribe eventually as well.
Well, but hold on a second. So, but I guess what I'm getting at here is the show was called Tales of the Empire.
She's a part of the Empire.
Yeah.
What's that?
She was a part of the Empire.
But I don't consider the Empire that she was part of to be the Empire that the Galactic Empire. It was
though.
Yeah, but not
briefing the Galactic Empire.
Not really. It's not, because it's not the same to me. So that's the thing I'm getting at. It's just, if they would have called it something else, maybe Tales of the Dark Side or some shit, that would have been different. I don't know. When I'm thinking Empire, I'm thinking more stories in relates to people in the actual Empire. I'm sorry, I don't give a shit about that story. It just didn't work.
Hold on. So if they would have done Tales of the Empire and had what's his name, the Chiss guy, red blue skin,
Thrawn,
would that have been all right?
Yeah, because Thrawn worked alongside Vader. I mean, he was in the Empire.
But Morgan Elsbeth was. This showed Thrawn recruiting Morgan
Elsbeth because
Well,
she
she
wanted
does.
Dude,
revenge on the
I'm
Empire.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going by this.
Well-
It's just it didn't do shit for me. It didn't. I gave it a chance. I like. Let me tell you like this. I like the animation of the show. The animation was top notch. Like that was some cool ass shit. To me, I wasn't. Maybe I have to give it a rewatch. I think what it came down to is I went into something with high expectations because I saw
Yeah.
the trailer for it and I marked out for it big time. I was down for it, and then I think what happened was I think the execution for me wasn't right. It wasn't good for me.
So, would you have been more interested in the first half if it featured more Vader versus Thrawn?
No, because it doesn't have to be necessarily Vader. It just has to be give me something. Thank you, the Sith. Give me something more in relation to that. That's what.
Because
I
I'm
mean,
thinking we're gonna get a Tales of the Sith. I feel like that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, we got in two
I mean, like
seasons
he
of
just,
Tales of the Jedi already. So I mean,
like the comment just said right there. The Empire started because of the Sith. That's correct. That's the entire thing that set the shit in motion. It was Palpatine's the Sith. That's what it was.
We get this.
well, the Empire
This
was
is
already
just-
there. The Sith decided to infiltrate the Empire because they were having problems keeping and maintaining their own power.
This is just fleshing out other stuff like Bear Sophie. I could have gave 5 shits about Bear Sophie. To me,
I only cared about that story because I remember what happened in the Clone Wars. That's what I. Come on, man. Listen, when you look at the fucking trailer of the goddamn show, they know what they were doing. That's why
they baited you in to watch it, and you watched it.
Exactly. They baited you in.
They got their view from you.
Correct. So that's what I'm getting at here. It's like, okay, if I'm looking at the Morgan Elsbeth story, like I'm like, okay, that was cool. Okay, this is what I think it comes down to. When I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is cool. I like the first 2 episodes. By the 3rd episode of the Morgan story, I didn't give a shit anymore. Because like, is this what they're going with? And then when the Bear Zoffy story happened, I'm like, okay, when she says, you know, you're in here for crimes against the Republic and yada yada yada, that's cool. But then it's like you wanted something there with her. It's just for me personally, and I think a lot of people, because the videos I've been seeing on YouTube with all these big ass content creators, same shit. You wanted her to have that moment with Vader because of what happened with Ahsoka. That whole thing, it goes back. We didn't get that.
Yeah, but
So
he
that's
wasn't
kinda
going to
like-
reveal the fact that he was Anakin Skywalker to her when
No,
he
but
just
if you
became Lord
would've-
Vader.
But what I'm getting at is what kind of bullshit would he have if you had Vader single her out as this Inquisitor? Because you remember correctly, he damn near when Vader met the Grand Inquisitor, he damn near killed that motherfucker. Same thing here. You really have to go through some bullshit to even become an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
So if he would have like put the pressure on Barriss to the point where she would have quit, that would have been a more like, okay, this isn't for me. We didn't see any of that. We started going through a couple training sessions, then all of a sudden now they're going to look for Jedi. So I think when it comes down to me, it's like kind of like a buyer's remorse kind of thing. Like I watched the shit and I thought about it because I have to think about these things after I'm done. I'm like, that was not as satisfying to me as I thought it was. The animation was top notch. The Disney animation fucking gets better and better every fucking show I watch. It's like crazy. But it's just, to me, the storytelling just wasn't there. And then the use of pronouns and all that bullshit, I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
All right, Amanda.
Niggling shit.
Let
Listen, they fleshed out 2 characters.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm mid on Ahsoka, and the only reason why I like Ahsoka is because of old girl. I'm sorry, I've hated her from the
Rosario
beginning.
Dawson.
Yes, I've hated Ahsoka because she annoyed the fuck out of me in Clone Wars. Okay, so we get the live action, and even Morgan Elsbeth was in The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Badass
and
actor,
the
okay?
episode 3 of Tales of the Empire is exactly where Mando picks up.
Exactly.
Well, I knew that.
So-
I get that.
Yes.
But it's just, it didn't do anything. Maybe because it didn't do anything for me because I didn't give a fuck about her in The Mandalorian either.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
But that's just you, man.
I understand that. That's why I
That's
said,
what we do.
me. I said me. I didn't say you.
I
I
got
said
you.
me.
I got you.
Just because I don't like something doesn't mean you don't have to not like it. That's what I'm
I
getting at.
got you. I got you, Frankie. I'm just saying. And the whole thing with Bear Sophie, I could have cared less about Bear Sophie, but I like what they did.
Yeah.
You know, I
Well,
was like, okay. And
I think
even
it was a good nod for Clone Wars fans.
when Vader
It
came
was.
in, when
And I
Vader
was
came
here
in,
for it.
I was like, oh shit, there's Vader.
I was happy to have Jason Isaacs back as Inquisitor because
Mhm.
he's just great. I'm here for it. I was
Oh,
like,
don't
I
even
need
get
more
me
Inquisitor.
fucking started on. Oh, Jesus Christ! Don't even get me started how they wasted the Grand Inquisitor and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fuck.
But we're not talking about that.
I
Yeah,
understand.
We're
that.
talking
I'm just saying, you
about
bringing up a bunch of bad
Tales
shit
of the
for me.
Empire.
Yeah, I know, and it brings back a bunch of bad shit.
I mean, when I went into this like open-minded. We were getting Morgan Elsbeth. So we got Diana Lee back, the granddaughter, or well, not granddaughter, the
daughter of Grandmaster Dan Inosanto.
yes. And
was
oh, by the
the
way,
first-
he trained with Bruce Lee, and
Which
Bruce
she's-
Lee is
Bruce-
her godfather.
Oh, yes.
We also got Lars Mikkelsen back as Grand Admiral Thrawn. We got Katie Sackhoff as freaking Bo-Katan again for about half a second, which I still appreciated the nod that, hey, they just called Bo-Katan for help. So we could already put together Morgan Elsbeth's story. We really could, from the Mando and what we got from Mando and what we got from Ahsoka. We knew the story. We knew General Grievous burned Dathomir. Not just like there was 3 tribes of Dathomir, I think.
There was a total of 7.
7. And we know that he burned it top to bottom. So we knew that. We knew that she wanted revenge on Grievous himself. That was her purpose. That's what Grand Admiral Thrawn wanted to hear her say, is that she wanted the revenge. And he still brought her on to be a part of the Empire and to work for him. She didn't work for the Empire necessarily, which she did in the beginning, but she worked for him.
Well, and I said that when I was watching it, that explains their relationship in Ahsoka.
Yes.
Why they're so close. I understand the storytelling point of view. I guess as a you know, just a fan that I am, I wanted more of
You wanted
because
more Empire.
yeah, because you see these, it's like you see these characters that come along, dude, and like nobody ever says heel or bad. They always it's always a redeemer. You know what I mean? The only person that's ever stayed true to the cause in Star Wars really has been Palpatine and Thrawn. You know, there is no redeeming qualities there. It's all about, you know, and I guess that's what it was for me. I wanted more. And I think a lot of people just got sucked into the allure when Tales of the Empire is coming. You know, just when you saw that fucking logo, when you saw Tales of the Jedi, and you saw the fire, it burns the logo and it turns to the Empire. You just expected more of it. And I
mean,
wanna
this
say,
is just season 1. This is one of those where they can bring
yeah,
you back at any
but
point.
yeah, well,
So
yeah,
I mean,
we'll
when
see
they
about
need to
that.
hash out another character or a couple of more characters, I mean, just like in the first one, the only real story that I liked out of the Tales of the Jedi was Dooku's, because I was wondering how Dooku ended up being a part of the dark side, and I got that.
Yeah,
And to me, that's kind of what this was, though.
Yeah, I think this is more to give content to have content and not have
Yes.
it's like everyone's waiting for the Acolyte. Like obviously, there's long gaps now between the Star Wars projects, not like it was a couple of years ago, a Celebration where they announced everything. They kind of
Right.
have to keep Star Wars in the media or in the news and keep
Relevant.
it going and keeping it relevant. Exactly. So I feel like we're going to be seeing a series of these where it's going to be, different facets of what we think. Like, again, it's 2 different facets, if you will, of the Empire from, kind of the mainstream perspective for one part of it with Vader coming out, even for a short second. But everybody knows, if you watched Rebels, Kenobi, you have that mainstream viewpoint of the second half. And then the first half, yes, it's a little bit more mainstream in a way because of Ahsoka, but not really. Like, it's backwater Empire, if you really think about where she's at. So I think you're kind of getting these different perspectives of different. So I think it's just really to kind of just give us something to have until the big content comes out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the big content might not come up for a while, and that's the thing. So you have to settle for these, Tales of the Empire, I guess.
But I enjoy it though. Like I know I like the kind of some of the back history a little bit, or some of the okay, that's cool. Like
I guess
yeah,
just I don't know. I guess when it comes down to me too, is like I watched a lot of the fan films that people come up with on YouTube, and it just goes to me like people come up there with and they don't have the budget that Disney has, and they just come up with better shit. And I'm like, you guys are Disney. You own the IP. You are Lucasfilm, and this is what you give us. That's my whole point. Like, yeah, I mean, when it comes to Morgan's story, one of the things I was impressed with is she's a bad bitch, but she has a reason to be.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I got from that. So I don't know, man. It's just
It makes her character in The Mandalorian and Ahsoka make more sense.
yeah. So
You
I
guys,
guess I could
hey, I gotta jump off. I
yeah.
love you guys. Y'all keep on rocking the show. Amanda always, Frankie D, my dude.
Yes, sir.
Keep it dark.
Oh hell
And-
yeah. That's the way you go, man.
And Jeff, I will see you guys later.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you coming on, man. Good luck at the barbecue this weekend
Yeah.
in Memphis, if I'm not mistaken.
yes.
Next week, Memphis.
Next week in Memphis.
All
Yeah,
right.
dude. Post some fucking videos, man.
I'll see y'all later.
Yep. Keep your head down out there. I grew up about 45 minutes southeast of Memphis in Alabama. So I know all about Memphis. Some of the best soul food I ever ate, though.
You
And
know
some of
what's
the best
funny?
barbecue I ever ate.
You know what's funny? Since I've been here in San Antonio, I have not found good Mexican food yet.
Really? You're in San Antonio, dude.
So what kind of are you Tex-Mex or Mexican?
Well,
like-
listen, I came from Cali in 2021,
Ah, okay.
so I have not found it yet. And I hear people tell me, "Oh, you should go to this place." Well, listen, I'm kind of bougie, so I'm
It's
not going to
different.
go. I'm not going to go to all these different fucking places. I'm going to stay in my area. Okay, so
Yeah, I get you. Like California Mexican food is definitely different than Texas. It's hard
Yeah.
to my boyfriend grew up in Turlock, so like kind of Modesto area. So he's
yeah,
kind of the same about he'll eat it here, but he's like, yeah, it's different. Like we're going back towards that area to go visit
yeah.
family, and so he's like, oh, I can't wait to eat here, here, here. So
Right. I mean, in
Yeah.
HEB has this Tex-Mex queso dip, which is fucking fantastic. Now,
yes,
I
is
would
it
eat that.
the hot? We usually get the hot pepper. Is
No,
that
it's
the one?
just the regular one. Just that
Oh,
it
yeah.
has the regular one that they sell there, but it's excellent. I had some Modelo in that
Yes.
shit. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
But real quick, because I got to jump off as well. Tales of the Empire. On a scale of 1 to 10 for me, I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm just gonna keep it keep it right there
Nothing wrong
because
with that.
I think they could have done more. I think I was just looking for more for a Dark Sider type of show.
I hope they get it in the Tales of the Sith. I was actually
Yeah.
thinking they were going to go
Yes.
that route. and
That's
then
what I
they-
was expecting too. And that's what I kept shaking my head a little bit earlier when we were talking about it, because that was my letdown with the, I don't want to say it let me down. I expected more Sith and more dark side when we talk about
That's
the
what
Empire.
Yes.
And we didn't get that.
Yeah.
However, am I mad at what we got? Not really. I could
I wasn't
I
mad
didn't
about
really
it.
Yeah.
care
Well-
about Barris's story. She
It's-
never crossed my mind one bit.
It was an
But-
interesting choice with how her story turned out, that she's an Empire story. Even it doesn't seem to fit in either Empire or Sith.
That's what I'm.
Or
that's-
Jedi for that matter, because we know she betrayed the Jedi. So
yeah,
it was a weird
I
one to
think
go with.
I think the only and it goes back to once again, it goes back to what's the connection with Barisafi in the story? Okay, it's
Anakin.
Anakin's
Yeah.
Vader. That's where they
That's
got
a
you.
connection.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think that they were going with, and I think the Inquisitor story is also something that should be told. You know, those stories
Properly, you mean?
Yes,
Be told
absolutely.
properly.
Absolutely, yeah. So Inquisitors could be another show. It could be Vader and the Inquisitors. That could be something that you could do there as well. But yeah, man. But other than that, I got to jump off here. I have enjoyed this. haven't done podcasts in a little while, so I enjoy coming up.
Yeah, we know, man. Hey, and like I said, you're always welcome back here.
Yeah.
So
nice to meet you.
appreciate you
well.
hopping on, Frankie D.
Yeah, we gotta
So
we gotta definitely hook up. You got your Ahsoka cosplay. We gotta do that picture, Master and the Apprentice. I think that would be fucking phenomenal. We have got to do that. So
Definitely.
other than that, you guys have a rest of the good show. I am going to go get ready for work, but I have appreciated the chance to come up here and talk a little bit of Star Wars and celebrate the Sith.
all right, Frankie, we'll catch you later, man.
All right,
Nice
brother.
to meet you.
Same as well. Thank you.
All right, Amanda. Let's let's round out Tales of the Empire real quick. Get your opinion, and then we'll roll straight to the Acolyte, and then we're gonna we'll discuss Star Wars Lego real quick.
Sounds like a plan to me. So, Tales of the Empire, I liked it. I was a bigger fan of Tales of the Jedi just because, again, I liked Dooku's story. I did like the Ahsoka moments.
I did too. Yeah,
I liked her going into you're finding out how she got back into the fight and what inspired her and her becoming Fulcrum, or at least those initial steps. I am happy we found out what happened to Barriss, because there's a lot of people who are like, oh, she's a seventh sister, or she's, she became one of the Inquisitors you see later or whatnot. And
my question is, who at Lucas wanted to finish her story? Because that story does not get finished unless
I feel like it was a Filoni more,
because that story doesn't get finished without somebody wanting it at Disney.
I think it was a Filoni. And I mean, there was kind of a lot of chatter about it. I feel like that usually comes up when there's an Inquisitor related show, is, oh, one of them's got to be Barriss, or one of them's got to be, so I'm glad we got the finish. We're not up in the air, and it was a different ending than what I expected. So I didn't, I was kind of expecting her to be a little bit more dark side. Then
that's what I was expecting.
And then the redemption arc be more powerful or more impactful.
Yes.
I still think it was handled well, and it's still open ended, so you don't know. I felt like you don't know where
we don't even know if she actually passed.
Yeah,
because I mean, she's walking out of the cave carrying her, so we don't know if she passed or if she's still alive. It kind of is another one of those where he just kind of tossed it in the air and say, "Hey, we'll see."
Yeah, and then Qui-Gon's gonna get mad if she gets force healed.
Exactly. That poor guy.
I know.
So that's it on there. Let's jump into the Acolyte, because we did want to speak on it briefly. They did drop the final trailer.
Yeah. Now I know that it's hard because it is High Republic and it's a completely new era for Star Wars fans, and we're very used to the
we're going 100 years before episode 1.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of so far Disney has relied heavily on the Skywalker saga. Again, that's why they're dropping Darth Vader so much, and that's why we're getting, Luke and stuff. It's especially after the sequel trilogy and how that worked out. It's taken time to rehab, but this is exciting to me because it's untread ground.
And that's what I'm looking forward to, because the High Republic comic book and the Old Republic comic books are some of the best stuff out to read.
Well, nice.
Like, it is good stuff
for video gaming.
Yes. And to me, I want to see this badly. I wanted to see it succeed. What do you think about the cast they have with this
I
show?
Opportunity. I'm like, you got Trinity Jedi. She's a natural fit.
She really is. And when she popped up in that first preview, I was like, okay, this is going to work.
And the marketing was interesting because they're still sticking with it, but it's like the Kill Bill meets Frozen. And I'm like, it's intriguing. I'm here for any kind of fighting. So I'm like, bring on the lightsabers, bring on.
Yeah, and they did say we were returning back to, starfighters and, lightsabers and duels. And so we're going to get it.
And even I feel like there's a little bit of martial arts type of influence in the fighting styles, like more so now. And it's going to be, the interesting part is the mystery. It's who's killing the Jedi and what's happening here. And that was a twist I wasn't expecting so much, like the mystery part of it. I really thought, okay, we're going to get just straight up, fights between Jedi and the Sith are trying to survive kind of thing.
But this is the start of the Sith learning that, we can't go at the Jedi and tear apart the Jedi this way. We have to somehow start interjecting ourselves into the government and into this that leads us to Darth Sidious or Sidious and down that road to the rule of two and that kind of stuff.
I
So
want to
I got a feeling that's kind of where we're getting at with this, and them going back to go, hey, this is how we got here.
Do you think we're going to get Darth Bane?
God damn, I hope so. That's been one of those where, like, why haven't we had it yet? But it makes sense. There was also rumors that he was actually in episode 1.
I've heard that rumor. Yeah.
So we'll see. And that's what I'm really hoping for. He's the one pulling the strings into this. So we'll see how that works out.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we get just more backstory. I'm excited for one of the characters though to come out from the High Republic books, Vernestra Rowe. I want to see her lightsaber in action. She has a whip.
The whip. Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Everybody is. Like, how do you not get excited for that? In comic book, it is like perfection.
It is. It's a high bar. I was like, oh yeah, we are going bold with Vernestra. Okay, that's who we're going with. Let's go. As Bill would say, yip, yip, motherfucker, let's go.
Exactly. So we're at less than a month away. I mean, we're 2 days, or we're 6 days into May. 2 days past, May the 4th. So we are exactly, 28 days from, the Acolytes premiering. I'm here for it. I know. I mean, like I said, this is taking place 100 years before the Phantom Menace takes place. And it's like, we have, what's his name? Lee Jung-jae from, that weird show.
Squid Games,
yes.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. My best friend.
It wasn't my flavor.
My best friend loved it. That's the only reason why I know. I was like, Squid Games guy.
He is the man. He's the master in this, and we'll see how he goes. Now today, we did see the premiere trailer for a new Star Wars Lego movie, and I'm here for it. It's like rebuilding the
galaxy.
Rebuilding the galaxy. And I know we got to talking a little bit about Star Wars Legos earlier, and this movie looked so cool. Like, the way it intros is phenomenal.
I love the Legos products that Star Wars has done. I feel like they're very underrated. And they're really, really well done. Like, we watch some of the older ones, too. Yeah. My son and I watch them all the time. He loves the Christmas special, which, again,
the Christmas special is hands down probably the top-notch best one out.
Oh, it is. It's so good. And for not liking or being as crazy about the sequel trilogy, and when I say that, again, no disrespect to the actors, they did what they could.
It wasn't them. It was piss poor writing.
Yeah.
Let's just say what it was.
Exactly. The story was not good that they were given. The writing was not
correct.
Good. There were so many things that, we can go on a whole podcast on about that. But we could. You really could. But the Lego version, the Christmas movie, I was like, okay, I don't even care that I didn't like the sequels. This was just fun. Even if you just threw these people all together and just had the story and I had no idea who they were, I'd have enjoyed it either way. So it was really, really fun, really well written. And this trailer just looked
so good.
So good. And
if it follows the same lines as all the previous Star Wars Legos movies, we're getting perfection again, because they are really good.
I'm going to say the two best parts of the trailer. One, Ewok bounty hunters.
Yes.
Okay, Bill, you might get that show. If this works out, Bill might get that. More Ewoks.
Well, I mean, it's literally there. We're going to get, Ewok bounty hunters.
I'm here for it.
In true cannibalistic fashion.
Exactly. I'm here for it. I love that this is almost like spoofing all of the internet.
Yes, and that's what it felt like when it first started with the door kind of exploding. I was like, are they spoofing on everything? They are spoofing everything. That's like the whole vibe is like Star Wars is literally spoofing its fandom, and itself, all at the same time, and I loved it.
And I have to ask you if you're doing okay after seeing the glorious reveal of one Darth Jar Jar.
I've hated Jar Jar Binks for 20-something years. Seeing Darth Jar Binks made my day
Yes. Yes.
because we've all wanted it. We all secretly felt that he was a secret Sith.
Yes. There is an
So
action
for
figure
them to
out there.
there
Yeah, no,
is.
there is. You know which one I'm talking about with the
Yes.
Sith lightning.
Yep. And I'm just like, finally, they're acknowledging the fact that what we all felt for so long. And I'm here for it. Every single bit of it.
And they bring back Ahmed Best for it. I'm like, what
Yes.
a redemption. And poor guy,
Well, he got he also just got his redemption in Star Wars Lego with the saving of Grogu.
Yes. And
With the speeder and everything. And I'm just like, I'm here for it.
I'm so happy for him because I mean, again, like you may not agree with the movie, we may not agree with the movie, but it's not the actor's fault. And I think for him, it was so personal, and to see
He
him,
did. He
got
took
a
it very
lot.
personal.
I mean, it just the hate that he himself got was just it's sad.
Undeserved,
and so,
really.
Exactly. So just to see him
did the best he could with the character he was given.
Exactly.
And honestly, after I went back and re-watched it, and then I watched the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Jar Jar had moments where you were like, God damn, Jar Jar, that's deep, bro.
Yes.
Like when he's in the temple talking to
him.
young Annie, he's telling Anakin like something with like he has this heartfelt moment with Anakin when he's a child.
Yeah.
And it's like, God damn, dude. I'm like, that one, like, that's very un-Jar Jar like. But it's kind of like, well, damn. I'm like, because he's talking about his heart and everything like that. And he's like, that's what makes you good, is that you have a good heart.
Exactly. And I feel like even in the Clone Wars, his story was stronger. Like he had a stronger arc.
He did. He had really, and it wasn't just like a couple of episodes here and there. It was spread throughout. Like we kept seeing him, and he was actually was he the senator's aide or her envoy or something at one point?
I want to say yes.
I think so. And he did excellent. And I mean, he still had his Jar Jar moments, but he, for the most part, he represented Tatooine the way he was supposed to.
Right.
Like he matured into his position.
Absolutely.
So it was awesome to see that happen for him in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my undue hatred lasted for 20 years. And I'm happy to say, although I'm not the biggest fan, he holds, at least Ahmed Best holds a special place in my heart.
Yes. I'm right there with you. Ahmed Best.
Because Keller and Beck is an awesome character.
And I popped because I'm like, I watched the show, the show that he was on, that his character came from.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching that because I was like so into everything that was Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like I was a big game show nerd.
Yeah, we all were at that age because it was down our throats with Nickelodeon. Because every other thing that came on was something related to that. So
yeah, and I was like, did I want to be on the show? Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
everybody
yes,
did.
Everybody did.
If I got invited right now, I would still go do it. 40 with a busted back and busted knees. I'd still go.
Let's go. So it's
I can still run this temple. Come on.
Exactly. I was like, I'll punch out the temple guard. It's fine. Catch me if you can. But but just to see him get that moment and then here to even troll us, dare say, in like the best possible way. It's like, here I am. I'm back as Jar Jar, not in a movie, but in Legos.
Yep.
You're welcome. And I'm Darth Jar Jar. You're welcome, everyone. I was like, I'm here for it.
Well played, sir. I seen it and I was like, my guy. That's what we've all been waiting for. But all right, man. Let's round it out. This lasted longer than I anticipated. I was planning for like 90 minutes, but I won't say no to talking about Star Wars. What do you got coming up, Amanda? I know you got a busy week coming up.
I do. I am going to be of course, we record every Friday or every Thursday for Socially Distanced. And of course, you can catch that on the Pop Break. And so we have our popbreak.com website. Actually, Socially Distanced does have its own separate feed on all streaming platforms, but we do have the Pop Break feed as well, where you can find several of our other podcasts, including
and y'all are all combined now, right, on one streaming service?
Yes, except Socially Distanced. It still has its own.
Okay.
But all of our other podcasts are now, instead of being Pop Break TV and Pop Break Today, we are now one big happy place. in the Pop Break, including my second podcast, which is Anime Pop.
Yep.
And so, yeah, so this week we've got our post NFL episode coming up, on a post NFL draft episode on Socially Distanced. We'll be covering Doctor Who. Of course, we'll be covering The Acolyte when that drops, and House of the Dragon. Of course, we know we'll have you on for The Acolyte too. So excited.
Yes,
to have
absolutely.
You join us.
I'm excited to come on. I think I announced that last week.
Yeah.
Last month. Yeah, last week I announced that I'd be on there with y'all talking Acolyte.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So we're looking forward to it. We're gonna have we're gonna touch base on X-Men 97, which has been fantastic, by the way. If you are not watching it,
so
watch it. It's great.
We have 2 more episodes, so 2 more weeks left.
Yes, and
I'm going. Oh, no, none of us are. None of us really are. But we will be doing a show here.
Nice.
I don't know who from the council will be on yet. I will be reaching out to people, but I do know in 2 weeks we will be closing out X-Men 97 here at USDN.
Nice. Okay.
I don't know what your schedule's looking like yet, but don't be surprised when you get a message, you and Bill and some more people, because I want to do a nice panel for X-Men 97. Give it the love that it deserves. So
it's fantastic. It's honestly one of the best things out
there. It really
is.
And I'm not going to lie to anybody right now. If you haven't watched it, if you tune into USDN, when we bring up X-Men 97, we are dropping fucking spoiler after spoiler on that show. So if you ain't prepared, don't watch that show.
Just go watch it. Drop what you're doing and go watch it. Go watch it.
That last episode, Jesus Christ, that set up for that 3-part ending is like,
oh, it's so good.
Then we got another one coming on Wednesday. God damn. Because it was like my Wednesday was come home, X-Men 97, Bad Batch, Rampage. Like that was it. You still there? Hello? All right. I think we may have lost Amanda, but that's okay. I know she needed to go, but just know X-Men 97 is going to be coming up here soon. For everybody who stayed with us, thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode. We'll be back again, like I just said, in 2 weeks with X-Men 97. We're going to have a whole panel. We're going to drop spoiler, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with that. And then after that, I think we may be doing just our normal show there after that with talking nerd news and that kind of stuff. I'm going to have a few interviews lined up as well with some comic book artists coming up. I want to send a big thank you out to DFPN for giving me a platform to have this podcast on. As always, we appreciate your feedback. Leave some comments, what you think down below in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. This podcast tonight will be live on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast on Wednesday. So by behalf of myself and the Council of Nerds, this show is USDN approved.